Hello and welcome back to the Game Bet Match Podcast. I'm your host, Manny Friedman, along with my co-host.
Brad Sloan.
Back in the house, baby, for round two of
Yeah,
Roland Garros.
back in the house. So it's the first time we've done just a you and I pod. I guess maybe not the first time, but it feels like it's been like a solid couple weeks since we've done one.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get some some other guests. Piranha is fantastic. We'll have him on obviously again, but we hope to have some other people as
Yeah,
well.
so a little bit of a rotating chair. Yeah, I think it's this is a tough one. It's just like these midweek pods are tough to get their
It's 11:30 Eastern time right now.
No, the matches start in 5 hours. And now I think there's rain in the forecast, so it might not happen in 5 hours, but they're.
So we're hoping rain so we have some more viewers, So like while you're waiting for the matches to start, you could check us out.
For real, right? Like, yeah, because it's just it's tough. Like, it's just, man, it just sucks. Like, it's so difficult to get like
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
But without further ado, we're not going to do too much recap because we just have a lot of matches to get to and it's pretty late. But like, I guess we could steal from the MP9 pod and do a little bit of like, what do we win? What do we learn? They have that segment. So
Okay.
Why don't you go first?
I mean, yeah, I hit an 85-1 parlay yesterday, so I did a lot of winning. I'm pulling up my
your bankroll,
my posted picks. I'm pulling up because they did pretty well, I think. Let's see. So I had so for today I had Munar versus RBA. That hit quite easily. That was a play I felt pretty strongly about.
right?
Like,
Yeah.
in general, I think Munar is a good clay court player, and RBA he's looked better, but 2.5 games is not a huge amount on clay.
He was good for a set. Like he won that second set and was competitive in the third, but he just like didn't have enough.
Well, but he really wasn't. I think the first set was 6-2 though. Like it really wasn't like, like the middle sets. I guess he was fine.
But he won the second set. And I think he had break points to go up a break in the third, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So like it was close for a part of it, but like he just didn't have enough gas. Like as you say, Munar is pretty fit. You tell me that quite often. Like,
Yeah, I felt pretty good about that bet. That was one of the bets I liked. Another bet I felt really good about that. Actually, I was kind of surprised actually how difficult it was for Rinderknech to close the match, but Rinderknech -6.5 versus Walton at -110.
Yeah.
But Walton just does like these guys that just don't play clay. Like
Rinderknech is so bad at closing out matches. I don't know if you've noticed that, but that's like a trend with him. Like
a couple times I've seen him kind of choke. Yeah.
Oh, he's a choke artist. Like not like he has trouble. Like he's an artist at work when it comes to choking.
I've seen a few of his chokes. It's not been the best. Nuno money line against Makach. I don't really feel like I learned that much from that. I felt like Nuno just didn't take advantage of opportunities.
Yeah.
Like he was in that match. Makach, if anything, Makach isn't like that. I'm kind of excited to potentially fade Makach, next round because I'm not a huge believer in him on clay. Like I just think he slaps too much, and I think I don't know. I think he's just too error prone for my liking on clay.
Depends on his opponent. It's very opponent based with him. I don't know. Like he's very talented. Like he has all the tools. He's a good mover. He's good at net, which we talk about is like very important in clay court tennis. Like an underrated.
Yeah, no, he has all the skills. He just makes too many mistakes.
Better. Like that Lyon or the Geneva final, like that probably gave him some confidence.
Yeah, maybe I guess the run to the final. I got you on Goffin versus Perricard today, although it did go 5 sets, and Goffin did lose a break in the fourth, but he was the better player than Perricard.
You were on the right side of it because you also got plus money on top of it, so it's like
plus 135. I just
like even if I won that in the fifth set, like I still feel like you would be on the right side of it,
Yeah. Another wins the Perry over 19.5 games won versus Perricard at -115.
Monterino.
Versus Monterino, not versus Perry. Yeah, I said. Yeah, that was a typo, and I didn't even notice for like 3 hours. Yeah. So that was
that was today, right?
Oh, yeah, and that was. I mean, I just thought the books were over, or not the book, but I thought the market was overreacting. Like Marino's bad on clay, but when he's up against these like mid-level qualifiers to say he can't even win a set. Like
It's a great pick. Yep. Yep. And up
he
until
won the
like
first and
midway
then
through
went
the
away.
second. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, had Vaccaro to win a set against Foki at -150. Vaccaro
Is
won
just not
set
going to win
one.
matches in straight sets. Like he almost like gave up gave away the fourth too. Like he was trying
Yeah, he was up
hard
and
to
then
choke the
went to a
fourth.
tiebreak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the Vaccaro money line at +375. Still don't feel terrible about it. I think he was probably
Fritz
about that live to win the
Claymore pain.
match. What?
We had a lot of Claymore pain today. Like you had the 2-1 Fritz to win each set 2-1 or love, right? And like that comes through if he doesn't play like the worst first set
But
ever.
again, like I don't know, like I don't like it sucks because like lots of times, what do we win? What do we learn? Like I want
Yeah.
to learn from these losses, and a lot of times I just feel like I lost. Like I didn't feel like I learned. I just feel like I lost. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's just like I don't know what to take from that or what to learn from that. Like if anything, I
Nothing. You
learned
had the
that
right read.
Fritz is going to dominate these dudes who can't hit. Like if you can't hit, Fritz will overpower you.
100%.
Um,
Yeah.
and
He
it's
just
so
came
okay. So he
out
played a
super
bad
flat.
set, like whatever. I mean, the amazing was I had like Fritz -7, and I had Fritz -7, and I had some parlays and like in some parlays, and like
Yeah.
that came through despite losing the first set 6-2.
Well, and we talked about it on our preview pod. Like that was the one thing we were worried about. Like when he comes out in the slam, like, you know, first round, he usually comes out sluggish. And we didn't think he would come out that sluggish. Like, we still think he wins like 6-4 or something. But that was
Yeah.
our one hesitation behind that bet. And it like bit us in the ass. Like Fritz under 19,
Well, the sadder part is
it's
if he would
plus
have gotten
money.
bageled or breadsticked instead of winning 2 games. Like if he gotten broken the third time and lost 6 love, we still
Yeah,
could have gotten there.
I know. I know.
Like, I mean, that would have been incredibly lucky, but
Yeah,
nevertheless, like,
it's pain.
yeah.
I mean,
Um,
I did hit the under half a tiebreak at -150 in that match, which I thought was like an absolutely insane.
Yeah, I think those are gifts, man. Those
Yeah.
under tie breaks.
Yep.
Some things I learned. Struve beat the crap out of Burchaga.
Yep.
I don't
Well,
know if Struve is that good or if Burchaga is not that good, or probably a little bit of a combination of both.
Burchaga is not used to playing that kind of quality, right?
That's
Like,
probably what it is. There's
yeah.
probably something to that. In fact, I want to look this up really quickly. So Burchaga.
Like he's been good on the South American Challenger circuit, right? And he was good in qualifying and stuff like that. But like, once you play someone with Stroop's ball quality and like, that kind of opposition, it's a whole different caliber.
Well, here's a fun little Burchaga stat for you.
Yeah.
Guess what his record is against the top 50 for his career?
Probably and something.
0-1 after Jay's lost to Struve.
Yeah, that basically tells you everything you need to know. It's a different ball that's coming at you.
Yeah, he just hadn't played against that level before. So
Yeah.
that was a mistake. Just gotta keep those types of things in mind in the future. Like what has the guy done before?
Yeah.
Definitely like yeah.
I had
Rinky, I had Rinky +8 against Darderi, and that missed. That was sad times.
brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't necessarily learn that I necessarily learned anything. I mean, I guess the learning is like it's just so dangerous to take these guys who are big dogs on the game spread and like hope that they get there. It's just so dangerous. You're just playing with fire the entire match.
I
Like,
think the one thing I learned is that like if you know they can't win the match, then don't take the games.
yeah, that's kind of like a that's like a sports adage in other sports sometimes, right? They'll say like don't take the points in football if you're completely sure the team can't win the game.
Yeah.
And this
Right.
is kind of the same thing here. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because they're not playing to cover spreads. They're playing to win the match. Right? So
Right. And the other thing what happens is like it's way too easy for them to either have like a one set like kind of semi meltdown or not meltdown,
right.
but like they just play a bad set, and then you're in trouble with these spreads, especially in best of 5, when you've got to get them to like struggle there for 3 sets.
Yeah.
Or like in Rinky's case, I think he kind of blew that second set tiebreak. Like I think he had a set point. I think he served a set point at 6-5. Like he had every chance to win that second set.
But I think if he wins that set, then like you're probably even more in trouble because like can he maintain that for another 2 sets? Like that kind of has like 2-1 written all over it, no? Or do you think mentally then he has like a boost and you know,
I think both. I mean, like the ideal would have been, I think he might have had a chance. He either had a set point or had break points, or he was in some service games of dartery
yeah,
to break and win the set 6-4. And then if you just need to get like 5 games in the last two
right.
sets, like you should be clean. Even if he wins the tiebreak, like, okay, you got to get through 2 sets, but you got 6 games. And like he should be a little bit, there should be a little bit of a mental game. I'm not saying he's going to win the match at that point, but there should be a little bit of a mental boost to like, it's just so dangerous. Like you could see the problem coming after that second set tiebreak loss. Like Darduri is now serving first.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you see the writing on the wall after that. It's brutal.
yeah.
I had Herbert to win a set versus Djokovic today, and like I don't regret that play. I mean, it was plus 200. It didn't come through, but like I mean, Herbert played well, but Djokovic really doesn't look good. Like it just feels like there's like 10 to 15% less sting on his ball now, you know? And I don't know if he can't like convincingly beat Pierre Hughes Herbert, like on clay, that's not a good
He
sign.
said he alluded to having, he said something about like, I can't remember what the quote was, but he said that there's been issues in the past couple months, and he was super vague about what it was. But he said there's been, I have no idea what issues are, but there's been issues. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's,
It kind of feels like he's in like a kind of a midlife, like a emotional mental crisis in his tennis career. Like he doesn't know whether to follow the Nadal route and take that retirement tour. He can't really find motivation. He fired the coaching staff, right? Like Ivanisevic wasn't giving him stuff that what he wanted. Like it just feels like mentally he doesn't like know what he wants, and I think that that's kind of a problem now. And
I
like
don't
he
know.
doesn't know
I
whether or
mean,
not he's like fully like motivated like to chase more slams, or is he like, I did everything, I kind of want to like retire. And
I
then
don't
the
know.
Olympics is kind of in the back of his mind, so like he's motivated for that, but like
I don't know.
he doesn't know what he wants.
I'll defer to there are the whatever is cool. Something on the lines of like there are issues.
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't know if it's mental, life, physical, could be a lot of different things. Yeah, I mean, bottom line is he doesn't look
Yeah. He
there.
does.
And like I don't know. I mean, maybe he is having physical issues that he just can't train as much as he used to be able to train, like the body's finally breaking down. That could be a thing too.
He talks about like he has when he's away from his kids, like he feels empty. I mean, he talked about that in the Curios podcast. Like it just seems like from a mental standpoint, he's not all in like he used to. And when you've been all in your entire career and then you're not all in, like, and something is missing there, it's hard to get that.
I don't know.
Find it.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Like me, I mean,
Yeah.
it just seems weird that that he would have just turned the switch off going into this year.
Yeah, he had a great year last year, one of his best years
And he did
ever.
fine in like World Tour Finals, did fine in Davis Cup, and then what? Like I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, but it could have been right. Like who knows? There could have been something. There could have been a lot of things, right? Maybe. I mean, who knows? Maybe he's like, maybe the wife is like, hey, you need to spend more time with the kids and not be training the off season as much. I don't know.
I think if he won the Australian Open, the motivation would be different because like he would still be chasing that golden slam and like, all that kind of stuff, right? And now that he didn't win the Australian Open, like if he wins the French Open, like almost it's like who cares, right? Because he's done all of it before and then some, right?
I mean, I don't know, but this, I mean, you could have said that before he won the U.S. Open last year.
No, but he was going for 24, which I think like, to tie Margaret Court or whatever it is, or like, I don't know. you know.
So beating Margaret Court is not a motivation, but tying Margaret Court is like, I don't know.
Maybe I'm
It's
reaching. I'm reaching.
no, I mean,
But
I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, there's something is different, and it could be 10
yeah.
different things. You know what I mean? I don't know.
As far as Monday goes, we cashed 4 out of 5 GBM plays, which was exciting.
Well, how did we do today on GBM plays?
We went 3-3. We
Yeah.
cashed the Barrera Bublik. We cashed the Borges Mahak. We cashed no, we lost that one. We cashed Munar RBA and we cashed Vashiro to win a set versus Fokina. We lost Evans versus Rune over 3.5 sets. We
I
lost.
don't feel bad about that one either. Evans but honestly, maybe I actually do. That Evans should have never been a GBM play.
Right. It was more a fate on Rude. Like, can Rune win 3 sets in a row? And we thought no. But
Evans should have been a 1 unit play, not a not a GBM play. Like
totally.
it's yeah. I mean, at this point, like I mean, we talked about this before on the last pod. Like, I feel like Evans is like, this is like you're like the king of mental takes. I think like 80% of the time they're garbage, but like 20% of the time there's something there. And I think when it comes to Dan Evans, there is something there.
Yeah.
Like, it just looks like he has no confidence. And he's actually talked about it. Like, before winning Washington last year, like, middle last year's like, oh, I'm lost. Like, I don't know what to do. Like,
Yeah.
and it's unfortunate because he was so good as recently as 18 months ago. Heck, as recently as Washington, he played like a top 10 player for a week. But he just seems like one of those guys where like confidence is so important for him. And he just looks lost, man.
He does.
Like,
And he was
when's the last time he won an ATP match? He probably has recently. I just forgot about it. But
It's a good question. I don't know. Let's see.
oh, he beat Sonigo at another guy who looks lost. He beat Sonigo in Miami, and he beat Saflin in Los Cabos. So he's got 3 wins this year at main level. 3
I mean, if he
and
doesn't do anything in Washington or something, like he's gonna his ranking is really gonna plummet, big time.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I think it puts him at 3-13 on the year now, Evans, which is sad to see because he's a better player than that.
but I'm not really optimistic about Holger Rune. Like he could have lost a set there. He was down a break in the third.
No, it's just Evans has zero confidence. Like, my takeaway there is Evans, not Rune.
Right. Agreed. We lost today. The Fritz one, which was painful. We lost the Borges money line against Mahak, and then we lost the Evans Rune. So 3-3 today. But down on the units because we like the place that we won were like -140, -150.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a shame. So we lost in the juice. As far as yesterday goes, I mean, yesterday was a fantastic day. Zverev -5.5 came through.
I thought that was a pretty clear one. I mean, honestly, Nadal even played well, and he still couldn't cover the 5.5.
That was a really
my
high quality match. Just
It was high quality. I didn't see that much of it, but I saw some
Yeah.
highlights, and I saw the last few games, and even then, it was pretty high quality. Zverev
Nadal would
just
have beaten 80% of the draw in that match. Like if he played the
probably
way
accurate. Yeah, it's probably accurate.
Yeah. So I think he beats Holger Rune if they played.
I don't know.
No. Okay.
He probably would have beaten the Holger room that showed up against Dan Evans, but I don't know, Holger. That's more about Holger playing the level of his competition. But I think he would have beaten the Holger that showed up against Dan Evans if that's what you're saying. I agree with that.
Okay. I think he beats a Lorenzo Musetti.
Okay. How
Um,
did he do? I didn't even see anything about that match. Didn't he win straights? Didn't he beat Guan quite?
yeah, he beat him down. I mean, 7-5 in the third.
Okay.
So, yeah. But I thought Nadal was good. Like I thought the French Open just came like a week too early. If he had an extra week of preparation, maybe he could have.
Oh, I don't. I don't. I'm not sure I agree with that. I feel like
Okay.
I feel like that's a popular take,
Hmm.
but I think the equally plausible take is that he's only going to be able to train himself up for like a couple weeks of play.
Okay. I think like I agree with both because like if he had an extra week of preparation for this particular event, I think he could have been better. Right? But like an extra week of preparation for like Wimbledon or a couple hardcore events, like that doesn't do him any good because like also training on hard puts more wear and tear on his body
Yeah,
than
he
just
no.
play.
I mean, he even said
So
he said he's not going to do Wimbledon
yeah.
because he wants to be prepared for the Olympics. He said something like, "Oh, I don't think switching surfaces is going to be good for me."
But
Like,
to me, is it like he just automatically thinks they're going to give him a wild card like for the Olympics? Like the Olympics doesn't operate that way.
I don't know. The Olympics might use protected rank. I'm not sure.
Okay. Because
I
wouldn't
don't
it
know how that works.
I hope not for his sake, but like wouldn't it be funny if they're just like, oh, we go on ranking. Like you're not ranked in the top 60 or 70. You just like you're not getting
This
in.
probably can be Googled.
I thought they had their own rankings or like their own system of like players getting entry into that tournament.
No, it's the rankings. The only difference is that there's some goofy stuff like the host country automatically gets players. Um, the winner of the university games gets in.
Okay.
So it's just like a random like, university tournament from around the world. Like
All
the
right.
best player from a university gets in. Like so there's some goofball stuff, and then there's a max number of athletes per country. So maximum of 6 athletes per country.
But that's based on ATP ranking.
Oh, sorry, max of 4 athletes per country. No, but protected ranking, you can use protected ranking to get in.
Okay. Is Nadal's protected ranking up to snuff?
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Because it goes from like it goes from when you miss the time. So if I look at Nadal, like Nadal's protected ranking is probably in the top 20. I'll look it
Okay.
up.
Oh yeah. So I Googled it. For the Paris Olympics, Nadal's eligible to use an injury protected ranking of number 9 to get into the singles draw.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right. So he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, that's Nadal. Good match. I mean,
Well,
Zverev.
it's a good thing that we talked about it because that was the main thing that happened. That was the biggest news story.
Zverev looks good though, I have to say.
Oh, he looks really good. He's really
Looks
hitting the
really
ball. He
good.
looks really good. Yeah.
Looks really good. So,
I
and
mean,
that's
if
a
he
tough
plays like
spot
that,
for
I think he
him.
wins the tournament because like maybe Alcaraz gets him because Alcaraz, won pretty big against Wolf, but I don't know how much I care. And like, we'll see if Alcaraz can actually make it through 7 matches too. Like that was one match.
Yeah. And if Alcaraz gets there, I probably would give him the edge because I think he has an edge mentally over Zverev slightly.
Zverev's done pretty well against Alcaraz.
But it's a Grand Slam final where Alcaraz has more experience than Zverev in that spot. You know,
How many finals has Zverev played in one?
one,
And Alcaraz has two.
two, but he's won both of them.
Fair.
So, um, Fonini cashed a plus 200 GBM play against VDZ yesterday. VDZ looks so bad, dude.
Oh, he even said he alluded to
Awful.
maybe retiring. I think I saw something where he
Wow.
said like he said he doesn't want to be there. He doesn't look forward to playing. He's not sure how much longer he can go on like this. Like, yeah, it was really depressing stuff from
Man.
VDZ. Very really unfortunate to see because he's still young. He can't be like what is his age? I mean, he cannot be old. He's got to be like 28 at most. He's 28. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I can't remember the Van Zandt so quote, but it was not positive. It was really, really
That's a pretty
that was the worst match I've played in my life. I've been asking myself more and more lately whether I want to continue. When I get up in the morning, I no longer look forward to the matches.
yeah.
That's one of the more
It's really
depressing quotes I've
sad.
ever heard. Like that, that's
Yeah.
just like,
Usually don't hear that from tennis
yeah.
professionals. And
I like training, but I don't like the matches.
Oof. Dang.
That's like, I mean, talk about confidence issue. Like,
Yeah. It
I don't know
seems
if I've
like
ever heard.
that
I don't know if I've ever heard a pro athlete say that before
publicly too.
publicly, that I enjoy training, but I don't enjoy the matches.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it looked like that when he was playing. Like it's really. I had him in an over 3.5 set parlay, like for like a 50-1 parlay. That was the last leg. So I was watching that match, and it was just atrocious. Like it was hard to watch because he wasn't hurt, but like the balls like would barely get to the net. He was so tentative. He was so tight.
Yeah.
And I mean, for that to be plus 200 was insane. Insane.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how much that Munich final. It's amazing to think that a year
Yeah.
ago he's in that Munich final, and ever
Yeah.
since it's been a complete downward spiral.
Crazy. It's crazy. We cashed yesterday Cope for Medvedev over 3.5 sets. That was a nice hit.
Yeah.
Medvedev was up a break in that third, and then Koepfer kind of dug in and started making a lot more balls. And like the conditions really cooled off in that match. It was like late, and you could tell Medvedev was kind of having a hard time hitting through the court. And
Well, I mean, he does in general, right? Like, I
yeah,
mean, Medvedev does not hit that, but he's got a very different game. Like,
right.
yeah. I mean,
That was good. Paul -7. I don't think it was a GVM play, but like that was a good hit against Kachin. He dominated. He
yeah, I ended up not hitting that. I probably should have. I ended up saying I was going to hit on the pot and then reversing course. It's I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess Paul's better on clay than we think. I mean, I don't know. It's like I guess like there's both ways with it. Both ways with it. It's crazy to think about. Like,
Well, I think he's a confidence-based player too, and he's also pretty confident right now, so
and I also think it's easier for him to be confident when he's up against Pedro Cachin.
right, but I think like having that good result in Rome is going to give him some like give him pep in his step kind of thing. Whereas if you're like losing matches, it could like play with your mind.
I think you can say about almost anybody on the tour.
Yeah.
I don't think
But I
Paul's
think
that special.
Paul more so than some guys.
I don't
No?
know.
Okay.
But the biggest thing I see with Tommy Paul is the occasional lack of focus. Right, we've talked about how he's thrown
Yeah.
away matches for no reason. Like we always, like we'll never ever stop talking about the 2-2 loss to Albot last year at Delray Beach. We'll never, you know what I mean? Like you have losing a set. Who did he lose a set with US Open last year? Shervaglia or somebody like outside the top
Yeah.
200. He like just dumped the third set, like
Right.
just a horrendous set. So like that's just why I always like that match, that particular like third set. Well, like it just makes it so hard for me to like back him to cover 7 games.
I know. I said it on the pod. I was hesitant about it, but like looking at Kachin's results, like I felt
Because like Kachin is like
Yeah.
Kachin is gonna fight.
Yeah,
It's like if
he's
Paul
way
decides
better,
to be like,
so much better at altitude though, Kachin.
oh, 100%. And you knew that if Paul like came out and like was like really like there for 3 sets, that was going to be 3-0 and he's probably going to cover. It was just a matter of like, can Paul go a full match without mentally lapsing?
Yeah, that's true. What else did we hit? Arnaldi money line against Feast. That was a nice plus money hit yesterday. It's kind of what we.
Oh, I thought that was one of the cleaner hits. I mean, I thought that was a pretty. I
Yeah,
mean, to get Arnaldi at plus money was pretty exceptional.
100%, 100%. I thought it should have been pick. Like I thought that's where the line should have been, and it was plus 130.
I didn't even think that. I mean, I thought that it could have been the other way, like almost flipped, like that, which is insane. 'Cause,
Really?
like that's being like so crazy. I was probably overstating it. You're probably more correct, but like, yeah. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't. Fees is not the player that he looked like
No,
a year ago.
100%.
Like he's almost regressed since last year.
I agree. I would agree with that. Yeah, and I think Feast lost last year to Fokina, but Fokina was way better last year, and he was coming off that Lyon title. But I would agree. I think he's less patient. I think he makes more errors.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the crazy thing, right? Is he's less patient. Like you would think like for a young guy like that coming up, you would think like tactics and patience would improve.
You would think. Sometimes as a as a young player, you get more your ego
I
grows
guess, but he
and
doesn't
like you
seem
feel
like
like
the
you can be
he doesn't
bigger.
like he exudes off like an ego, but not in like a negative way, like the way
Yeah.
like a Shapovalov does. Like he doesn't like exude a lack of discipline. He's not like like he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't like go after umpires and get angry. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I feel
I
like
think people talk about how great of an athlete he is, and he tries to like impose his will on opponents more than like just playing solid tennis. You know,
yeah,
that's the impression I get when I watch him. Like he always tries to like push the envelope. Like he takes these crazy balls out of the air, like try to hit lines, hit big on, basically every shot. And it's just like not realistic when you're playing tennis, like that's not smart tennis.
yeah.
I think that that's what he does. So yeah, he needs to improve big time. I owe you a dinner for that. So what else did we lose or win yesterday? Kotov money line versus Nori. That was a fantastic hit. Um, Nori, I think, is just overvalued, man. Like we talked about it with Piranha, and like I felt like I agreed with him more than you. You were kind of like, not so
I
sure.
always have a hard time judging, like, and it's pretty easy to do, right? Like Piranha has his stats on, which are probably but like like how is the market judging this player in this match to me is always like a weird, like because it's not like a necessarily direct ATP rank. Like I think
Mhm.
Nori's ranking right now is still in the top 25, I think. Do I think that Nori's anywhere near a top 25 player? Okay, it might not be that high. Nori's currently ranked 33rd. Do I think that Nori's the 33rd best tennis player in the world right now? No.
No.
But do I think he's that far below that? Honestly, probably not. Like, he's like borderline top 50. The other thing I wanted to talk about with Nori is it seems like because of his game, like he can win if either A, the guy doesn't have any weapons, or B, if the guy doesn't have any patience. But if a player has weapons, patience, and fitness, like it's really hard for Nori to beat them.
And Kotov looks like a guy that wouldn't have any weapons, patience, or stamina, but he actually has all
Well, he
three.
has weapons. He certainly has
Yeah.
weapons.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, I mean, he's like he doesn't look fit. Like I agree, he has a beer gut, but like some of these beer gut guys, like I think we kind of we this is like a little bit of a aside, but like
Yeah.
some of these guys, like it's kind of back to what we were talking before, right? Like the common theory I feel like is that like, oh, if you want to wear a guy down, you got to run around the court. But like hitting the ball can be really tiring as well,
Hmm.
especially if it's like a high quality ball. But like Nori doesn't provide that.
No, he doesn't.
Like he hits like a pretty mediocre ball for an ATP level player. And so like he's not gonna wear guys down like some of the better players who just hit like nasty balls will.
Right.
Like even like a Fritz who hits a really big ball, like that's going to wear somebody down. I think having to go side to side and rally 15, 20 balls with Taylor Fritz way more than Nori.
I mean, they talked about so many players have talked about like playing Federer, for example. Like they were more
Yeah.
tired than playing Nadal because like of how early he takes the ball, how cleanly he hits it, and like how
Yeah.
fast it's coming at you. And like that will just tire you out even way more than just running side to side, like
Yeah, because you got to be so much quicker getting back, and your body
yeah.
motions have to be so
Yep.
fast, you're actually working at like max effort more often.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, Kotov, I mean, he did seem like fatigued, like he was like huffing and puffing, but he always seemed like able to find that second wind and push through. And he was
Well,
the
that's what I'm saying. I think if Nori hit a bigger ball, I don't think he would be able to do it.
I
If
agree.
Nori had a better ball, but
Yeah,
Nori just couldn't like when Nori like when he was tired, Nori couldn't do anything like push the pace.
right.
I mean, just looking at Nori's recent wins, and I didn't even think about this until I just like pulled this up. But like Munar, no weapons. Fonseca, no discipline.
Hmm.
RBA at this point, no weapons. Mayo, no weapons. Kaboli, I guess maybe talented. That was 3 sets. I don't know. Maybe
He
that.
sometimes has lack of discipline.
Yeah. Sonego, lack of discipline. Wilch, lack of discipline. Vera, not good. Delian,
Not good.
not good. I mean, he beat Ruud. I mean, honestly, he beat Ruud at the Aussie Open. Like that's pretty much the resume this year.
Okay.
Like it's just interesting. Like,
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I agree with you. Moving on. I thought Sinner under 18 and a half games versus Eubanks. That should have been a GBM play. I kind of regret not putting more on that. Like Eubanks just can't hold 5 times against Sinner. Like,
yeah, I can't remember if I played something there or not. I don't think I did in
I
the
think
end.
Eubanks had
Oh,
break
you know what I
point.
did? I did play something there. I played. Bovada had a special parlay like Sinner and under 29 and a half games.
Oh, okay.
It was like plus 110 or something, Sinner to
Yeah.
win in and under 29 and a half games. So I played that.
Okay. Yeah. I played the Sinner under 18 and a half. I mean, Eubanks actually did have break point in the third. But still, I think that was a good play. Tsitsipas looked pretty good against Vucevic. I mean, I talked about it on our preview pod. Like, I probably should have followed my gut there. I thought that was a really good matchup for Tsitsipas, actually. Like, I think Vucevic is a better matchup than, say, like a De Minaur or like a Federico Coria, for example. But or Baez. Like, I think those are the worst matchups for or best matchups for Tsitsipas. But like, I don't think Vucevic is like far behind because like he doesn't really have weapons. He's just
I'm in
there.
between. I mean, Fujivic's had his chance. So I took the opposite end. I took Tsitsipas 3-1. Fujivic's had his chances to win a set in the first 2. He didn't take advantage, and then you knew like it's almost like I wish like I wish there were more like props and stuff available on books. And I wish you could find for some of these best of 5s that's like 1-1 after 2 sets.
Yeah.
Because that's the prop of what I probably would have taken, and it would have and ideally would have been better than than the 3-1 even. But like because that's something I would have taken is because like that to me felt like it felt like if Vucevic was going to win a set, it had to be one of the first 2.
Agreed. Yeah, first set was very even, and it just progressively got more lopsided as the match progressed.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think even the second set, I think Vucevic had his chances. Like it wasn't. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And then day 1.
Well, I guess I can go through. I had some other stuff Monday. I'm trying to look and see what else I had. Oh, I had on Monday. I had Gaston money line versus Shelton. That didn't come in.
Yeah.
But we also had the under, and that pushed. I pushed a bunch of stuff. I pushed like 3 bets Monday.
I think the rain delay didn't help there. Like, I feel like if there was no rain and like Shelton couldn't regroup, I feel like Gaston may have gotten in his head.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree with you.
That was
yeah, I don't feel particularly good or bad about that bet. Like I think it was just like the market had it right.
Yeah.
So I guess I feel bad. Man, match of the tournament in terms of sweat. Squire, I don't know how you say it, Squire -3.5 against Purcell.
That's
goes
one
up 2 sets, 6-2, 6-2, and like you're thinking like easy cover. And then Purcell comes back, wins the next 2, has match points to win the I mean, did Squire even have a break in the third? He may have. I can't remember.
I think so.
And then Purcell comes up, wins the third and the fourth. Then Purcell's match points in the fifth. Squire comes back, and they go to like this insane tiebreak where Squire ends up with having 2 match points and blows them. And then he comes back and wins 12-10. It was just nuts. Like,
and he covers by 4 games.
He covers with 4 on a 3.5 game spread. Yeah.
Might be one of the most insane covers like all year.
Yeah.
Another insane cover that I had was Missile like -3 games versus Burton.
Okay.
This Vertinen was he was up 2 sets to love, then Misalik wins the third. Vertinen was up 5-love, 30-15 in the fourth, and he loses the set. And then proceeds to lose the fifth. It was insane.
So he had
Insane.
3 breaks of serve, Vertinen did?
3 big breaks of serve. And then he
Which
just
is insane because Vertinen is also like the one thing Vertinen can do is serve.
oh no, it was 4-love. 4-love, 30-love. But two
Still,
breaks.
2 breaks when the one thing you do well is serve is
Yeah.
insane. Like I can't.
At
Wow, that's
30-love.
amazing.
Insane, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a crazy cover as well.
In terms of outrights, I mean, I had Vilch at 250 to 1 to make the final. TTT Tiago went no, no, no. That was sad times. But those are sometimes gonna blow up in your face. Like it's it is what it is. Like
you got another pick right that we disagreed on, the Kecmanovic and Montero.
But I do have to say, so we had a long debate about this. Montero's serve. I do think, I mean, look, he made 68% of his first serves again against Kecmanovic. Like, he must have changed something. Like, this is like 12 matches now of him making, like, in general, like 65% plus first serves. Like,
he just was terrible off the ground for 2 sets.
Oh, the first just, yeah, he just couldn't. Yeah, well, so actually, I thought it was really interesting. What I saw was I'm amazed that more players don't do this on the tour. We talk about this all the time, Manny, but like, especially when it comes to this, like, he has no backhand, Montero. And I thought Kecmanovic did a really good job of getting balls to Montero's backhand and taking advantage of that, and then like making Montero hit more difficult forehands. And not because like what Montero wants to do is like smack a ball on the court, get a high loopy ball back, and then run around and hit that like heavy topspin forehand that he like has that lefty curve on.
Yeah, the inside out.
The inside in. He can go the inside out also, but he also likes the, I think his favorite is probably the inside in.
He likes to hit forehands from the backhand corner of the backhand part of the court.
For righties, yeah, he can hit that. Yeah, he can hit that inside in lefty forehand to righty backhands with a lot of spin. Like I feel like that's his favorite play.
It's my favorite play too.
What?
It's my favorite play too.
Well, that's why you are him. Like, it's amazing to watch. And like, Kecmanovic just like, no, like you're not going to do that. Like, try something else. And
yeah, he just didn't have the answers. I mean, they also played in what was it, Madrid, and it went 7-6 in the third. And I mean, Kecmanovic probably learned something from it, which is a good sign for him. You know.
Yeah, you would hope, right? Like you would hope he could
Yeah. So that was good. Bellucci Tiafoe was a fun match. I had Bellucci plus 1.5 sets, and that came in, which I was excited about.
Phil came back from 2 sets to 1 down, huh?
No, I know. But I also had Bellucci on the money line as well, but yeah. Good match there.
Yeah. Oh, I had Sumit to win the first set at plus 285. That didn't come in, but I also had Kachanov 3-1 at plus 230.
That was disappointing because Nagal had I think what was it, 5-3 in the third set breaker.
Yep.
And like if he wins that third, like he's not winning the fourth too. Like you have that bet. Like that was a good read. I don't regret that bet at all. Like I think that comes in often. And at plus 240, I think that was a good price on that.
Yeah. And I've got to say, so I've had a very weird week with my parlays this week because I did hit that 85 to 1 parlay, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But I also missed like 4 parlays by 1 leg on Sunday. To the point where I went 0 for 5 on parlays and still had a positive day on money. Like I don't know how you do that.
Yeah.
Like it just made no sense, but somehow I did it. And then then I missed another 20 to 1 by 1 leg today, and I missed a couple others by that were close. So yeah, but yeah, crazy with the parlays. Day 1 I had Yari Mute over 3.5 sets, and I Mute to win set 1 again. Back to the old Mute set 1. Mute bageled Yari in the fourth.
No. I mean, he's just a better tennis player than Yari. Like Yari is just tougher mentally, and that's why I thought
Yeah.
like, that match would go long. But like, if you just compare tennis skills, I mean, Mute is way above Yari's level,
Yep.
and that
Oh,
shined.
one thing I wanted to talk about,
Yep.
Gasquet played one of the best matches I've seen him play in years. I mean, I don't know, man. You watched a piece of that too. Like,
Yeah, that was
I
good.
thought Gasquet was incredible. Like, he looked like he was playing like top 50 tennis. Like, I haven't seen him play that well. He was hitting the ball well, moving well. Like, I have a feeling it comes all coming crash. He also has to play Yannick Sinner. I have a feeling this comes all crashing back down to earth in like a just a nasty way. But he
Yeah.
looked incredible. I thought. I mean, I didn't think Gorge played that bad. Gasquet was
I mean, you
just
saw more of it than I did. I didn't. I was actually playing at that time, so I didn't see too much of it. But like, yeah, I played the set one money line just because like I thought Gasquet would gas out. Like I didn't trust him to last the full 3 sets, but like credit to.
yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the crowd kind of pulled him through, and like Coric doesn't do himself any favors. That's another thing. Like he doesn't do anything different ever. He just like plays the same way all the time. And
I think he's limited in what he actually can do. I think it's more of like he's just like yeah. I just think he's limited in what he actually can do. Like he's just not.
yeah, he is,
He's got a really good backhand.
but he never really imposes his will. Like I feel like that's a match where you can kind of you're the better player, you're the fitter player. Like
But honestly, like Gasquet played better. Like at times, actually, Coric saved a whole bunch of break points by imposing his will. But
okay.
like Gasquet just played like, I mean, he played incredible. Like I haven't seen Gasquet play that well in years. I mean, it was insane. Like
Okay. That's good.
I guess maybe back when he won a title pretty recently, didn't he?
He
So I
won
guess
Auckland last year.
yeah. So I guess it would be since Auckland last year, but he hadn't played that one in a long time.
I mean, I like Gasquet. I think he's never, cheated the game. Like he's always been a pro. So I'm happy for him. I don't know. To me, like Coric, if you're the player that people like hope you would be, or like you think you should be, like you have to win that match. You have to win that match. It's
I mean, it's a fun thing to say, but Gasquet played lights out. Like I don't know.
all right.
I really didn't think Gasquet like the courts played that bad. Like I mean, Gasquet played top.
Gasquet played well. I'm just saying, like, even at Gasquet's best level, like Coric has what top 15, top 10 talent. Like, you have to find a way
But
through.
does he? I mean, does he though? I don't know. I'm not sure I agree with that.
I mean, that was what people thought when he came into on the scene as like a 17-year-old, like back, a long time ago. Like people thought he had the talent to be really good.
Yeah, that's it's manifested itself for 1 week in his career, Cincinnati. Well, you know what I mean? Like honestly, like it's maybe there's a couple random weeks a year when he plays like he's top 15, top 20, but like
It's
there
a
are large
disappointing,
areas.
it's a disappointing career for what he was projected to do or
I guess I think
as
it's
a
also like
prospect.
it's also one of those things where like we being like the tennis media, whether it be independent small media or larger media, like we put these projections onto guys, right? And like it doesn't mean that they're there already. It means it means that you when you're looking at a guy who comes up at that age, you're expecting them to grow more. Not and I'm not saying physically, I'm saying like grow as players, and like that's not a guarantee.
I get it, but like if you put Coric in the NBA and say he was drafted like number fifth overall or sixth overall, right, in like the 2015 draft, right? And you look at his results up to this point, you would think he's a complete bust.
I don't know, man. Is Andrew like Darko's a bust? Is Andrew Bogut a bust?
Yeah. I mean, he did win a championship, but it wasn't really because of him.
But he was a solid player.
Solid, but like, yeah, that's my comparison. Like,
Or like in football in the NFL, is Alex Smith a bust?
sort of. I don't. I don't know. I prefer the Bogut analogy.
But I actually think the Alex Smith analogy is probably the more apt analogy. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe Bogey's the better analogy. Like, because I guess I would say like Corge just had probably a pretty average career, right? Like a pretty average ATP career.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't compare like Core. I mean, Core just had his injury problems, but I wouldn't compare him to like Greg Oden.
No, no, no.
But yeah, I think he's performed worse than the expectations, and he hasn't done himself any favors to correct that. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, we talk a lot. Especially you talk a lot about like players playing with more variety, and like it's nice, but the more you see these guys, the more you realize how hard it is to do, and how hard it is to actually train into that mentally. Like again, how many guys in this sport actually play with variety? It's like 10. Like,
Yeah. No, it's hard. It's hard, but tennis is not an easy game. Like, but all right, that's enough Porch bashing. You knew I would bash him. You said it on the Discord.
yeah, and I just didn't feel like I felt like it was a little unfair. I thought he played okay.
All right, all right.
I bet your thoughts on did you watch any of the Albron Nakashima? I lost that bet.
I
I,
did
I
not.
I didn't see anything, so and I didn't really learn anything from it. I'm still confused by
Yeah.
Nakashima.
What was your bet there?
I just had the Nico money line.
Okay, I had 5 sets.
Um,
Let's do 30. But,
yeah, I had a little. I had like half on 5 sets
yeah.
also.
Thompson playing against Martyr, that was disappointing. I mean, Thompson
Yeah,
was
I didn't bet that. I stayed away there. I think that
probably smart.
like, yeah.
How did Thompson beat Munar in Barcelona? And then like you lose like easily in straights to Martyr.
Variance, that's why it's so tough. Like,
Yeah.
like a plus 400 dog is like a plus 400 dog is a huge dog. Like, we'll talk about some matches where there's a clear favorite and a clear dog, and it's like plus 400.
Yeah.
But like that means they win 1 out of 5. So like if a player wins, like it could just be variance. I think
Tabilo.
Kukushkin set one money line against Marzan at plus
Kukushkin.
175.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful on that, on just auto fade or passing these guys, like, or auto
I
fading these
think
guys.
Marjan is he's becoming like a pure under guy. He really is. Like, I know there's some matches he doesn't go under, like Shevchenko was 22 and a half, and like I think it was set at 21 and a half in Geneva, and I lost that one, but like I just feel like he goes straight sets so often because he either blitzes a guy or he doesn't have it and he gets blitzed.
There's something really. I mean, I don't. I think there's something really. It's probably. I think it's a positive ROI bet, but it's like
Yeah.
not like it's not going to cash every time.
No, it's not. No, but no bet is going to cash every time. But
And
like,
then Hubie went 5 sets, so I covered with Mochizuki against Hubie.
yeah.
The +8. That's when I took the +8 on a guy who really could never win the match and actually came through. But even that one I had to sweat. Like I think it ended up being like 7 or something. Like because he got bageled in the 4th. Like
I feel like every big spread when you take the games, like you're gonna sweat it at some point. It's never gonna be easy. That's why I almost prefer taking the set. Because like you win the set and then you're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Wawrinka and Murray, I think we gotta talk about that. Like I thought my read on that match was good on the podcast.
Yeah, I think we GBM'd the first set piece, right? Like Wawrinka's just I just get worried anytime with Wawrinka about wind. About how long can he go? And like with Murray, I guess it didn't really matter. That match was so fast, it didn't really matter. But like,
Yeah.
if it gets physical, Wawa's in trouble. We've seen that. I mean, He's lost
Yeah.
what, 9 3-setters in a row. Like
But
again against Murray.
on this surface, Wawrinka at least has the ability to hit through the court, whereas Murray doesn't.
Yeah. Well, that's why we took him set one, right? So we said like he's definitely the better
Right.
player at this point than Murray. It was just a matter of like, could he keep it up for 5 sets or 3 sets or 4
Yeah.
sets?
What else? We got to talk about Alejandro Tabilo. That was disappointing. But he just looked fatigued. Like he's played a lot of tennis and probably wasn't the smartest thing to back him like to go all the way, like or win the quarter, for example.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like he was such a long odds, right? Like you're gonna again, like same thing as the Tiago bet. Like sometimes these are gonna flame out. It's why they're 100 to 1. You know what I mean? Sometimes they're just gonna blow up in your face. Like I don't know, like, but I definitely think there's sometimes something to be said for that. Like it's just like for these guys who go so far and are like trying to win 250s, like that's a big week.
It is. It is.
You
But
know,
sometimes there's a little bit, we have to be mindful of regression and not just think about like, oh, he's done so well, and just assume that they're going to keep it up.
yeah,
Right?
I always think there's an element of it that's like sometimes guys, especially like at Tabilo, like you would never like he's gonna lose some matches for no reason. Like he still is at that level. Like, but then like sometimes he's gonna play really good. Like, because it wasn't like he's just played well the past month. We saw him against Dimitrov play him incredibly well for a set and for 2 sets.
Yeah.
And he kind of choked it away, and then that was the end. So like, I mean, Tabilo can be really good. It's just not gonna be there every day. Yeah, it's similar to Hamad. Hamad losing first round today, right? Like,
Mhm.
where like some of these guys like these,
Yeah.
especially these younger guys, like they clearly have it to do well, but then like they're gonna have bad days.
Hmm. Yeah, and to me, it was a little bit surprising that Bergs was the one that looked better physically as that match wore on.
Yeah, right. I
It's
agree. I
like,
agree. But it's another thing to keep in mind. I think, with these young guys, like we evaluate these guys based on their matches. But like with these young guys, like especially if they are top prospects that have coaching and have like teams, like physical fitness, you should be able to improve that in like 3 to 6 months if that's a problem.
right. Like,
Like go hit a shit ton of balls, go run, and like that should improve that.
I guess we should move on to Jack Draper then, who lost to De Jong in
So
five.
that's it. I didn't post it anywhere, so I can't really take credit. But I did have the De Jong set one money line there at like plus 220. So that was a nice hit.
Nice hit. Nice hit. That's good.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
like that. That's when I don't understand why. I mean, maybe there's an actual issue there, like because the whole like vomiting thing. I don't know if he vomited in this match. Like the vomiting thing to me seems to be like that. That's an odd one. Like the fact that he's always like I don't know, is he always dehydrated? He just doesn't like drink enough water before the match. Like is it
Yeah.
nerves? What is it that he's always vomiting every match? Like that's even a different one than like just physical fitness. Like.
I know. I know.
I mean, I guess maybe the lung capacity is not there. I don't know. Maybe, but like yeah.
And then Atmane and Offner, I guess we should talk about. Did you see that incident where he like hit the ball in frustration and like it hit a fan apparently, and
And
like
he didn't get
he
defaulted.
did not get defaulted, but like Atmane, like Offner was complaining. He thought he should have been defaulted, obviously, and like he was arguing with the refs, and like Atmane was like standing on the other side of the court, like in the corner, just like with his arms like folded, like he just wanted no part of the discussion. I think he thought that he would be defaulted, probably, like
Yeah.
it looked like a defaultable offense. Like it looked worse than the Djokovic one, honestly. And like
I
they,
mean, yeah, I'm amazed he didn't get defaulted for that. I think that's
I
part
know
of
it's
the basketball,
crazy.
honestly. Like I
Crazy. He
think
still
that
lost the match, which I lost a bet, but honestly, like I'm happy that Offner got through that because wouldn't have been right.
yeah.
So, but that was pretty dramatic fifth set there too, and the Jerry and Altmaier fifth set, that was crazy. That was a crazy
Well, that
match.
was another choke job, right? I mean, didn't was
Altmaier tried to choke it. He
oh
just
right, and that's right. He
couldn't.
came back and won the fifth set
Yeah,
breaker, yeah.
yeah, yeah. But that was a crazy, crazy finish. So, all right. So recap was a bit longer than
Expected, yeah.
expected, but like we just can't help ourselves. Like once we start
Yeah.
talking about these matches, like it just
Yep.
turns into a
All right, I think we
discussion.
need a
Oh,
5-minute break and then we'll get back to it.
sounds good. All right, welcome back to the show, everyone. So it's time to preview round two. So let's get into it.
Yep. A lot of matches.
Oh yeah. Exciting times. I think the second round is my favorite round in a slam now.
I definitely say I have stopped loving like quarters and ins so much. I'm
Yeah.
definitely more of an early rounds guy now.
Oh yeah. 100%. I used to be like a later rounds earlier in my life before betting and like while I was
Yeah.
but
But like, it's just the lines, I feel like there are some holes in the lines where it's like you get to the later rounds, there's like no holes. And
yeah,
like there's just like there are some lines that are hittable, I think.
for sure. Yeah. So first match we'll get into is Alexandra Muller and Matteo Arnaldi. Muller is a 3-game dog plus 140 on the money line, over under 38. Arnaldi's minus 170. I love Muller money line here at plus 140. That's my play.
I'm with you on that.
Nice. GBM?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I think it's a great matchup for Muller.
100%. That's exactly my logic too. Um,
I'm not as on you with it, but I think it's a I think there's something to that. I don't think it's as big. Maybe it's what I think you probably rate it higher than I do, but I think there's something to that. And I
mhm.
think this line is pretty uh fair, not taking that into account. Like this is like if I hadn't thought about that angle, this is probably where I'd put the line. So for me, that angle is enough of a tiebreaker to make me hit Muller.
Okay.
I
I mean,
wouldn't do it at much worse. I certainly would need, I would need plus money to take Muller. Um, maybe I would hit him at like 130, 135, maybe, but like, yeah, this is to me, it's a solid play. Like it's not amazing, it's a solid play. The other play I absolutely love here is over 3.5 sets at minus 170.
I like that too. That'll be a parlay piece for me for sure.
Yeah, for me,
Yeah,
it's an
no,
individual play and a parlay piece. Both are, to be honest. I'm pretty. Yeah, I just think I think this is a match from Arnold. There will be some spurts where Arnold makes a ton of errors.
yes.
Arnold probably will win, by the way. Like I know I'm saying we like Muller because it's plus money, but I think it's like 52-48, 53-47 or something that Arnoldi wins this match. Like I think he's still slightly better than Muller.
Which makes
But
the line off,
what?
which makes the line incorrect in your
Right,
eye.
exactly, which is why we're betting it, right? But like,
Mhm.
it's not like my point is like it's not like I think Arnoldi sucks. Like,
Yeah.
I just think that like Arnoldi's a better player than Muller for sure, but it's Muller gets a boost from being at home. Plus I think that the matchup here is really good for Muller. I think Arnoldi this is feels like a match where Arnoldi could easily beat himself.
hmm And Muller's going to make more less errors than Arthur Feast. And I know Feast hits a bigger ball, but I don't think that really matters. I think Arnaldi kind of feeds off the pace.
I think so too. Yeah, and like Arnoldi's athleticism won't help him as much in this matchup.
No,
Like I
exactly.
think like a lot of Arnoldi's strengths are not are a little bit muted here. So
Yep, 100%. I couldn't say it any better. So the money line will be a GBM play, and then we're both going to play the 3.5 sets in some capacity.
yeah.
All right, we can move on. Next match, Ben Shelton and Kei Nishikori. Shelton is a 6.5 game favorite, minus 600 on the money line. Nishikori is plus 425, and the over-under is 35. I was staring at this line for a while today. I like Shelton to win, but I don't think it's going to be as straightforward as people think or this line indicates. Um, I like the Shelton 3-1 at plus 235. I think that that's a very likely outcome. Um, what else did I play here? I forget. I played the under half a tiebreak at -120. I found in another book. I like that a lot. But yeah, I think that's my favorite play. Shelton 3-1. Because is Shelton really good enough, like, to beat anyone on clay in straight sets? I feel like he's gonna go through patches where he just like makes errors and like is super erratic and stuff. And like Nishikori, like I know he's just coming back from injury and like, he beat Diallo, which isn't like super impressive, and he's coming off a 5-setter, but
5 hours.
it was 5 hours. Yeah, I still think he finds a way to get a set here. Like I think a retirement is in play too, so I'm a little bit worried about that. But like if that's the case, I get a push. So if you're placing like a pro Shelton bet, I would place it on a book that pays out for a retirement. I think it's actually quite likely here. Um, but yeah, I think Nishikori finds if he's healthy, I think he finds a way to get a set. Also, his biggest strength is return. So I think like if he's moving well, like I think he can mute some of Shelton's strengths. What are your thoughts?
Um, so I have two thoughts. One, Nishikori really struggled to beat Gabriel Diallo. Like Diallo, I think actually outplayed him for probably more of the match than Nishikori outplayed Diallo.
Mm-hmm.
Two, that was Nishikori's first match on clay, I think in like 3 years. So I don't know, like, so
Yeah,
that
there's
would be a
not.
concern for me. And then second match, right, like is always a concern for a guy coming off of this long of a layoff. Because first match, right, he's training into that match, so like he should be good for it. But now you're asking him to come back and play 2 days after playing 5 hours. Very well could be a challenge. I don't know if he's ready for that. I don't know, especially after having all the injuries. So a lot of concerns here for me around Nishikori.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not playing it because I also agree. I don't really know that I like Shelton as this big of a favorite. I think this, I mean, I guess I think the line's okay. Like, I don't think the line is terribly set. Um, and the bottom could just fall out for K. Like, like if I just don't know that he's fit.
If I could get retirement at 5-1 or better, I'd hammer it.
Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, although to be fair, Nishikori hasn't retired from a match in 5 years. Like, and is this a farewell tour? Is he going to retire? I mean, like, why is he out here? Is he out here to collect a paycheck? Is he out here to do a retirement tour? Like, like what is the aim here? There's too many questions for me here to get excited about backing K. At the same time, uh, yeah, I don't know that I love Shelton on clay either. So this is probably just a pass for me.
Yeah. Because if we don't know Nishikori's health for a fact, like we can't, obviously he won't be fresh, but like, will he be able to move in some capacity and like,
Yeah.
per, give some level of decent tennis for, prolonged period of time? Like we don't know that. So if he does, I think he's more than good for a set, you know?
And Nishikori wasn't a bad player on clay back when he
Exactly.
used to play back in the
It's actually
day.
quite good.
Yeah, like he was fine. I mean, I don't know if yeah, I mean he was a solid clay court player at least. So like,
Yeah.
yeah. It's just really hard to evaluate Kei Nishikori at this time.
Okay. Next match, Altmaier against Tsitsipas. So Altmaier's a 7.5 game dog, plus 850 on the money line, over under of 31. Tsitsipas is minus 1600. I think this is a fantastic matchup for Tsitsipas, and like I'm gonna lay the 7.5 here. I think Altmaier fits in that mold of like guys who can't really pressure that backhand and hit, you know,
Yep.
hit big, and like I think he fits in that realm. So like I'm gonna back Tsitsipas.
I hear you. I hear you. This is a big line, man. 7.5's a lot for a guy like Steph. I this is another pass to me. just the line's big. Like 7.5 games for me is a big like. I don't. I mean, we talked about this. I told you I don't love hitting these big game spreads in general,
Mm-hmm.
especially with these like top players against like uh, decent opposition. I mean, Steph might be able to cover it. He might not. I don't know. I think this is a pretty accurate line. It's yeah. I mean, it's
Altmaier, I know he did play on Sunday, but he is coming off like a 5-hour match against Yuri. I mean, I think he's fit enough. I don't think that's a huge factor here, but Altmaier hasn't been particularly good recently either.
this is not like an I Heart Altmaier like stay away. It's just for a player who plays the way Steph plays, struggles on returns. I don't know how motivated he always is to get second breaks and sets.
Sure.
7.5 is a lot for me to lay here. And there's no other line I mean, the only other line you could play here is one of these special parlays. If you wanted to play the Tsitsipas in under 31.5, I guess you could play that. But that's the only other real option. Because like the 3-0 Tsitsipas like minus 170 or something.
Yeah, it's not good enough.
Yeah.
I have a special. We'll get into it like after we preview all of tomorrow's matches, but like I have a -1.5 set parlay with a lot of the favorites tomorrow.
Okay.
So it's with the Sinner Gasquet with
Even here, like, but the problem is even here, like minus a set and a half is like minus 600.
it is, but I parlayed like 4 of them to get like plus 115 or something.
Yeah.
So I did it with Gasquet Sinner and FAA and Squire, I think.
Okay.
So yeah. All right, next match, Hubie and Nakashima. Hubie's a 4-game favorite, -310 on the money line. Over under is really high, 41. Nakashima's plus 250. So I got 2 plays here. I'm playing the 5 sets. I got it at plus 215 on a different book. Oh wow, it's plus 260 on Bovada. I'm gonna have to cash out of that one, hit this one. I really like that. I like the over 3.5 set as a parlay piece. Like I think that should be closer to -200 as opposed to -165. And I'm playing the no tiebreak bet here. You might think I'm crazy, but it's more a price play for me. I got it at plus 220, no tiebreak. Like for a clay court match, to have a tiebreak really features 2 guys to play well for a prolonged period of time. And I mean, we saw Hubie win a 6-love set against Mochi. Like he does manufacture some breaks here and there. So I think that's a crazy line, and like I just have to attack that. Your thoughts?
Yeah. I'm looking at something here.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm also on the 5. I went small here. I have like
Mhm.
a half unit on the plus 260 for the 5 sets also.
Okay.
Hubie's last 4 French Open matches, I think, have gone 5 sets.
Wow.
And I think 3 of Nakashima's last 4 slam matches have gone 5 sets.
Okay.
Just based on those trends, I took the 5 sets. But at the 260, but it's like a small half unit play for me.
Okay.
The other thing is here, I have a hard time judging Nakashima. And is Nakashima actually uh, like, you know, like how good is Brandon Nakashima? I have a really hard time judging that. Is he really a top 50 player on clay? Like he might not be that far off. I'm tempted to get with Nakashima in some way, but I think in a lot of ways I'd rather just get like I'm okay just getting with the 5 sets instead. So I went with the 5 sets.
Mhm.
But I think that there's a lot of people on Nakashima, and I think that looking at that is a decent read also. The games is heavy. The games is 41. That's a lot of games.
A lot of games. Like I think there could be one lopsided set here, and in that case, you would need 5 sets to cash that. So I would rather play just the pure 5 sets at a way better price.
Yeah.
Um, but I think this should be better than minus 165. Like I actually think that might be worth a single bet as well.
Yeah, I just prefer the over 4.5 at 260. But yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I think they're pretty similar.
You like my no tiebreak play as a price play?
Hard to evaluate. I wouldn't think about them more. It's hard to evaluate. Like,
For me, if I'm getting better than plus 200 on no tiebreak in any of these slow clay court matches, and like it's also going to be pretty slow tomorrow. There's rain in the forecast. It's going to be heavy
true.
conditions, like that.
True.
It's just not that common to see tiebreaks. So I think that's just a price I have to play. Next match, Lorenzo Sonego and Zhizhen Zhang. Sonego is a 1-game favorite, minus 125 on the money line, over under a 40. Zhang is a short dog at plus 105. So this match, this just seems like such a high variance match. It could just go in so many ways. Obviously, I like playing Zhang as a dog, and now that he's like getting into plus money, it seems like it might be worth taking. But I like the 5 sets here as well. I think it's quite likely. Plus 225 is not quite as good of a price. I prefer the plus 265, obviously. But that would be my lean here. And then if Zhang gets anywhere better than like plus 110, plus 115, I think I would hit it. It's still a little bit too short for me to attack that line. But I'm curious to see what you have to say.
Yeah, so I don't really understand why Zhang is a dog here. I guess other than maybe Sonego having a better record and more experience at slams.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure that if you look at it, and I'm going to pull it up.
Sonego has been good at the French Open.
I mean, but Sonego's also just seen better days as a tennis player.
Yeah.
He just seems to be more erratic now than he even used to be.
This is the second year in a row at the French he's beaten Ugo Humbert.
So Humbert did not look fit for that match.
Okay.
He looked hurt. I think he had some like wrapping on his knee, and like he didn't look. I was not impressed particularly by Sonego.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm looking at this main level thus far this year. And this doesn't include the first match of the French, but Zhang 5-4, hold break or service points 1 or turn points 1 of 62.37, so total of 99 and a half. Hold break total of 100.5. Sonego 3-6 on clay this year so far. Service points 1, return points 1 of 95, 65 reserve, 30 on. He's won 30% of return points in 9 matches on clay.
Wow.
Trying to go at ATP level this year. That's not good.
No.
And he's broken 11% of the time. So that is quite poor. That said, I agree with you on the erraticness. So I've got 2 plays here. Zhang money line and the over 3.5 sets. Now, but I don't really see a huge between on the over 3.5 and the over 4.5. It's more the over 3.5 because I actually think that Zhang should be a sizable favorite here. Thanks for the thumbs up, Manny.
You're welcome. I don't know what I hit.
As soon as I said like Zhang, you should give it a little thumbs up, and I was like, yeah. I'm like, Manny likes to pick.
It's getting late here.
But
I might
But
have
yeah,
to tail you on
yes,
Zhang
that's where I
money
am.
line.
I'm pretty. This is one of my favorite plays of the day. I really don't. I don't understand why Sonigo is a dog, other than I guess who did Zhang beat in round one? I guess that would be a theoretical answer too.
He beat Vukic in 4.
Oh, and it wasn't great. He lost a set to Vukic. That was not
Yeah.
ideal. So that's probably why you're seeing Sonigo as a slight favorite. But
But you
I,
only back Zhang as a dog. Like for me, if he was a favorite here, I'd have no interest.
yeah,
Zhang's a pure
I
dog or pass
think
guy.
I think like maybe I would take him at pick here, but certainly no worse. I like at -1. If you, I like if you flip this line, I wouldn't be on it. I agree with that.
I'm gonna tail you, but it's not GBM worthy.
Okay.
So yeah. I This is another match. I played the no tiebreak at -115.
I like that a lot. And like I said, I really like the over 3.5 sets here too at -185. Both these guys are pretty erratic. And I have a hard time imagining that each of them's not going to play a bad set or a good set.
Right. And it's not going to be the best match to watch because I don't think you're going to see both guys play well at the same time.
He might, right? Like they could randomly happen to play well at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm
But
not like,
for a couple games, it's not going to be like last a set, you know?
yeah, I tend to
Oh,
probably agree with that statement.
I don't like the over 40. Like I would lean under actually because I think a
Well,
46
okay,
under.
let's just clear that something up with that. The reason why that over 40 is there is because of the possible likelihood of 5 sets.
Right.
And because it's basically a pick, right? So if the two guys are even, the book has to put like a higher, or the market is going to assume a higher over under.
Whereas with the
Especially when
QB
5 sets like automatically clinches that.
right. And with Hubie Nakashima, they are like they're just expecting like long sets.
Yeah.
They're expecting
Yeah.
7-5s and 7-6s. So
Exactly. Like you got a Hubie Nakashima at 41 with a significant spread of 4. Whereas this Sanago Shang is, I mean, the spread is 1 game. It's basically a pick.
right. Right. All right, next match, Korda against Quan. So I see a lot of people on Twitter on Quan here. He's a 7-game dog, plus 450 on the money line. Korda is -650, and the over-under is 33.5. I actually disagree with what I'm seeing on Twitter. I'm actually surprisingly gonna back Korda in some capacity here, and I'm probably gonna. It's not like one of my highest confidence plays by any stretch, but I kind of like the -7 here. Um, I also like the -1.5 sets in a parlay. That's one of my legs in the parlay at -300. I don't think Rusevori is right, and I don't take too much stock in that win, honestly. And I don't know, like Porta has played well here in the past. I mean, he hasn't been good by any means, but like at least he's playing. You know, Quan is just coming off injury, and like Quan was a big dog to Rusevori, so like I can't really that match. I'm just kind of throwing away is what I'm doing here. And if this match was in the first round, I would have backed Porter at this price.
Okay.
So what about you?
Yeah, from what I heard, Quarter was hurt against Mayo. I gotta check out some highlights, but from what I heard, Quarter was not
Was
moving
hurt?
well. I think Sean Calvert on his podcast pointed that out.
Okay.
Um,
Didn't
so
know that.
um, so that's definitely something. I mean, if you could look it up.
Did he specify what it was?
So we've got Probahis on. Uh, I thought it was a leg injury. I don't
Or his
remember.
thigh?
What?
Yeah, had several medical timeouts for his thigh in his opening match and then celebrated very weirdly, like he won a Grand Slam falling on his back.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's not great.
No.
I also have
Right.
no idea. Quan playing like multiple matches. I mean, at this point, with how little he's played, I don't know how much I trust him to do that. But his match, he did look fit against Rusevorian, and it was a quick match, so that's a good thing. So, I have no faith in either of these guys. So I've gone Quan money line.
Okay.
Just because it's a big price, and I have no faith in either of these guys. I'm hoping quarters. I don't know. But I guess I'm hoping quarters more hurt or not. Not able to play effectively.
Yeah.
But I want a big price because I don't have any faith in Quan either. Like this is truly like a no faith in either guy kind of match.
Yeah, I'm definitely less optimistic. And now that I know the injury news on court, I'm gonna cash out of that -6.5. I'm not gonna play that. Um yeah. Okay. Next match, Shapovalov against Tiafoe. Chapo is a 3-game favorite, -180 on the money line. Tiafoe's +150, over under 38.5. So my favorite play here is Chapo -1.5 sets at even money. I really like that. I'm still on the Tiafoe fade train here. I didn't really like what I saw against Mattia Bellucci. Like the fact that he's going 5 tough sets, coming back from 2-1 against Mattia Bellucci, shows how far Tiafoe has regressed. Chapo, meanwhile, has been better recently. Played a really clean match against Van Ash. Like I thought that would get complicated in some way. Like he'd go through a spurt where he'd make a ton of errors, but it just didn't come. And like I don't know. I mean, went 3 with Darderi in Rome. In Madrid, he made third round, beating Diaz Acosta and Echeverry. In Geneva, he beat Federico Coria and then lost tight 3-setter to Greek Spore. So like it's not been terrible for Chapo. Like you could argue that clay is one of his better surfaces because he kind of has more time to load up on those big ground strokes. And he has the ability to put Tiafoe on defense. And Tiafoe looks very sluggish and slow from a movement perspective, especially on clay. He just looks like he loses his footing a lot and just doesn't seem sure like where he is on the court. And I think Chapo can expose that because he's going to be the one on dictating play here. So I really like that play. Chapo -1.5 sets at even money. That's GBM worthy in my eyes.
I got no player. I think that I mean the fact that Tiafoe is a significant dog to Chapo, I mean this like it's not like the market is thinking of Tiafoe as the 25th ranked player that he is in the world. Like, and I'm not saying he is either, but like this line is putting Tiafoe, significantly below Chapo. I mean, how good do we think Chapo is, and then how bad do we think Tiafoe is? I think this line is pretty fair, so I'm going to pass.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think like if this line is giving Chapo credit for being top 50 in the world, then it's not giving Tiafoe much more credit than being top 100 in the world. And like, I think that's probably right. Like, I think he probably is. He probably deserves to be something in like the top 80 to 90 range right now. We've talked about it before, and like that's kind of what this line is telling you, at least close to it. So yeah,
Okay.
I don't have any issues with this, with the way the market put this match.
Okay. Fair. Offner and Baez. Offner's a 6-game underdog. Baez is a 6-game favorite, obviously. +300 on the money line for Offner, -400 for Baez, over under 36. I didn't really have a clear read on this match, so I want you to go first here.
Yeah, I like Offner here. I think I took Offner. I'm trying to look at what line I took. I might have taken just money line. No, I took over 3.5 sets at -130. That's what I took. I expect both these guys to compete. Um, and I don't really know that. I mean, Baez, he went 5 sets to beat Gustavo Heidi.
Yeah, it's a good
I
point.
know that I know Hoffner's result was actually worse. He went 5 sets to beat somebody who's probably actually worse than Heidi. But he of Ottman. We just talked about in the recap. Ottman.
Mhm.
I don't. Yeah, I don't love.
Yeah, I don't like Baez in best of five too because he's just super limited. Um,
Yeah, I think this ends up being. I think this ends up being a pretty a closer match than what the books indicates. So I'm going. I don't see Offner really ever blowing Baez off the court 3-0.
I think
Um,
over 3.5 sets is probably my play here at -130. Like that's not even that juiced.
yeah, that's my play. That's my play.
Is that
I
GBM?
would make that GBM.
Yeah, I'll do that too. Let's do that. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Ah, nice. All right, next match here is Bergs against Martyrer. So Bergs is a -3.5 game favorite. -225 on the money line. Martyr is +185. Over under is 38.5. I have a very interesting take here. So I have two bets here. The first one is Bergs -1.5 sets at -120. And my second one is Martyrer 3-2 at +700. So I'm playing both because I think Bergs is the better player and should win this comfortably. But I think if it gets to a fifth set, I trust Martyrer more physically. So
I think
those
that
are
makes a lot
my,
of sense.
so I
Um,
think that that's what I'm gonna, that's how I'm gonna play this match.
I think both those takes make a lot of sense. I'm not on it as much. I think this spread is pretty right.
Okay.
Um, which makes it harder for me to get behind because that 1.5 sets is quoted that 3.5 game spread. I think this is all. I mean, I think this is all marked. I think this is all. Like the market's got this pretty correct. I mean,
But Martyr has been really bad
no, I mean he hadn't won
here.
a main draw match until he beat Thompson first round.
Right. So
But
and
I don't know that
Thompson,
but I mean that's the he's still a 4 game thing. But that's the thing. Like this again, it's where the spread's putting him. Like he still is a 4 game dog, 3.5 game dog, 2A qualifier in
right, but
best of
Brooks is
five.
probably the best qualifier in the qualifying draw, to be honest.
What about Montero?
I'd put Bergs ahead of him.
Okay, I wouldn't. Okay, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not that high on
Not
Juju.
not mentally and physically, but in terms of just talent and like,
Yeah, he's probably the most talented, but he hasn't. I mean, he's been the most talented now for 4 years, and he hasn't made anything. You know, what I mean, like you can't just have talent, right? You got to make something of it.
yeah, yeah.
We're not betting on who's going to have the better career. Like then I would take Juju for sure. This is betting on tomorrow's match. Yeah, I'm a
Okay.
yeah. I was gonna say I'm on the I'm gonna pass here.
Okay. All right. Next match, Henry Squire against FAA. So Squire is a 7.5 game dog plus 775 on the money line. FAA is -1400, over under 32. Um, I'm on FAA under 19 here at +115. Like, I think Squire is just really happy to be here. Just like get through that extremely stressful match that he had where he tried to choke it so many times against Purcell. And like FAA, I mean, we crap on him a lot on this pod, rightfully so, but he's been he's been getting better slowly. You have to acknowledge it when you see it. I know we shouldn't take too much stock into the Yoshi, as he sucks on clay, but he did go 3 against Demonor in Rome. Um, I mean, I guess I don't know how much you can take into the Madrid run just because it was so easy. He was more competitive against Struve in Munich than Holger Rune was. He did beat down Taro Daniel there. So I don't know. It's not that I'm impressed with FAA. I just think that he he's just better than Squire, and like I think Squire is just happy to get to this point, and I think it's going to be a tough match for him.
I'm all over Squire.
Wow.
I just don't.
Okay.
This is the proverbial like I'm not sure why he's a 7.5 game favorite against anybody kind of take. Like, but I'm not. Like, I guess he looked better during Rome, but to me, that doesn't get you to 7.5 games against the guy who, look, Squire, I think is or was a top prospect. He did win 3 qualifying matches to get in, and now he got through that first round against Purcell, and I think I don't know, I think it's I don't think they're just happy to be here now is going to take place. There's too many points and money on the line. 24 now. He really needs to get going on the tour. And this is a pretty golden opportunity for him against one of the better seeds he could have had out there to play. I do think FAA is going to win, but I don't think it's going to be that easy. So I'm on Squire to win a set. I think that was plus money, like plus 125, and I'm on Squire money line at 775. 120, sorry, it's 120, not 125. Squire to win a set.
Okay. I mean, I'm looking at who he's beaten. He beat Vavasori, Grenier, and Jumer in qualifying. Vavasori's a decent win.
And Schumer is not terrible.
He's fallen off though. And let me see some of his wins in challengers. Lost to Martineau, beat Vessels, lost to Righty in Prague, lost to Jumer in Czech Republic, beat Skatov, beat Novak, beat Diallo. I mean, has Squire played anyone in the top 50? Because like you talked about that take with uh Burchaga earlier.
Yeah, I'm just not sure that even that like I would put FA in the top 50 right now.
I think
On a clay
he's,
court.
I think he's there at this point.
I mean, then that's the difference, right? Depends on how you feel about yeah, I mean he's never played anybody in the top 50 in his career. He's only had 45 top 100 matchups. He's lost 4 of them. He beat Van Ash last year in Halle in the qualifying, 2-2.
And Purcell is that top 100 guy, right? Like one of
Oh,
those.
Purcell's not a top 100 guy on this doesn't include that match. That's a good call. But Purcell's not in my mind. Purcell's not a top 100 guy on clay.
No, he's not. But in those stats, it includes that, right?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Oh,
It didn't include that one match.
okay.
It has to be refreshed.
Um,
Um,
but
but
yeah,
yeah,
that plays a part of my handicap though. The fact that he hasn't played a top 50 guy in his
I
career.
mean, again, it depends if you think that like is FA that good. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced at all by the round 1 win against Yoshi. Yoshi was sick last week. Remember, he had to pull out of the tournament. He was sick, so I have no idea how Yoshi was playing. Apparently, he wasn't happy. He didn't look like he wanted to be out there either, which would make sense. So yeah, I'm all over Squire here. I think
The way it's been going for FAA, I think Squire is just gonna get like he's gonna get food poisoning at breakfast tomorrow.
hopefully retires. Withdrawals doesn't take the court. I don't know. Like, yeah.
All right, next match, Jesper de Jong against Carlos Alcaraz. Alcaraz is a 10 game favorite. Yeah, de Jong is plus 1800, over under 27. Oh man. I mean, the only line I was really staring at here was the Alcaraz to win every set, love 1 and 2 at 10-1. But that's not good enough for me. Like I would when I play that line, I want at least 15-1. And like Alcaraz can, he can showboat a little bit. He can, do these trick shots and stuff. Like I actually prefer that line with Sinner than Alcaraz. Um, I got nothing here. I think you say it all the time, but like when these lines are so lopsided, it's just really hard. Do you agree?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would agree. I'm not on this. I think that this is you said it on the head. Like the question is like, can Alcaraz stay? The question is, how long is Alcaraz going to stay like mentally in the match? And I don't know what the answer to that. It will be.
And de Jong is better than Wolf.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah, he beat Wolf, didn't he, in the qualies?
he beat him down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's funny. They played third round of qualies and Alcaraz plays in both first and second round. It's funny.
Yeah.
But so one thing I forgot to mention is with Alcaraz and Wolf, after the first set, I played under 7.5 in both the second and third set. I live bet both of those.
And you hit them both?
No, I got it was 6-2 second set, but like I think Wolf had or no, Alcaraz had break point at 5-1 to win the set, and he missed the backhand. And then that same situation came up in the third set and it cashed. So, but it was like plus 230 or plus 240.
Yeah.
So it was a good fun live betting opportunity. But like Wolf is just he's just terrible now. He's horrible. Next match is Rublev and Martinez. Rublev is a 7-game favorite, minus 700 on the money line. Martinez is plus 475, over under 34. I stared at this for quite some time too. It's hard to get a read on it. It's probably well set, but I want to see what you have to say.
I actually think this is a little disrespectful of Pedro.
Okay.
I think Rublev should be a big favorite, heavy favorite, but maybe not quite that heavy. I'm looking up something in a second.
But Pedro has regressed slightly recently. Like going 5 against Toronto doesn't impress me. He lost to Seaboth Wilch easily in Lyon. In a match we both thought he should have won. Did have a good run in Bordeaux in the Challenger. So I'll give him that. But like also lost to Borges first round in Rome. Lost to Nakashima and Aix-en-Provence. So like he's fallen off a little bit since Estoril.
Yeah, so and that's fine. I'm looking at a little bit of a trend here with Rublev. In 17 matches, in his 17 slam matches since the beginning of 23, where he played a player ranked outside the top 20, Rublev won exactly 3-1 in 8 of those 17 matches. So based on that, I've gone with the Rublev 3-1 here.
Okay. What's the price?
It's like your standard 230. Yeah, your standard plus 230. I also think getting with Pedro to win a set wouldn't be terrible. In those 17 matches, Rublev's only been able to pull off a straight set victory for looks like 5 times of those 17 matches. In slams versus players ranked outside the top 20. I mean, maybe 6. I think 6 times out of the 17. He's pulled it off in straights, but I think Pedro's a scrapper too, like matchup wise.
Yeah.
Pedro will make him work. I think it's a good matchup for Rublev in terms of like the points will play out the way Rublev wants them to. Because Pedro kind of just does what he does, but I don't trust Rublev to play 3 good sets in a row. So I like the 3-1 here. But I also think you could place anything that gives you Pedro to win 1 set, but doesn't put too much pressure on win 2.
I'll probably tail you. It looks good. I mean, he did like the 2 matches he's played here last year, or that he won last year at Roland Garros. He won 4 versus Jiri and then 4 with Mute.
Yep.
And then at the US Open last year, he went 4 with Monfils, he went 4 with Rinderknecht, he went 4 with Draper. It follows a trend for sure. Went 4 with Rusevori. Went 4 with Garin at Roland Garros. Went 4 with Delbonis at Roland Garros. Went 4 with Kwon. Like, it just seems to fit in that mold. So I'm going to tell you on that.
Cool.
Nice. Not quite GBM worthy. It might be actually. I for GBM, I would need a slightly better price than
Okay, makes sense.
5. So next match, Marjan against Dimitrov. Marjan is a 5-game dog plus 225 on the money line. Dimitrov is minus 285 and over under is 37.5. So you probably know what one of my plays is going to be here.
Marjan to win a set or
No.
over 3.5 sets.
No.
No tiebreak.
Under 37.5.
Okay.
That's a play. And I'm on the Marjan money line at plus 225.
Yeah, I'm a pass here. I hear the thoughts. I think that a lot of that hype on Marjan being somebody who can win this match is baked into that plus 225.
Okay.
Like Dimitrov, is he as good on clay? Probably not, but he is a borderline top 10 player, top 10, 15 player. Maybe not on clay. He takes a small step down, but I mean, he should be a significant favorite against Marjan here, which he is. I would back Marjan if I had to, so I don't hate the plays, but I'm just barely off of that. I just don't have a whole lot of faith in Marjan.
Yeah, I don't like the over 3.5 sets, surprisingly here, because like, as I said with Marjan matches, like if he's feeling it, he can beat anyone in the world, but if he's not, he can also lose in straights. So I think
I hear that. I hear that.
Likely outcome.
I hear that. I just don't I think the match is a little different when it comes to the over under because you do have that kind of like imbalance of power. And then the Mars on money line, it's just I mean 225, like back when he was getting the price he was getting against Demonor and Alcaraz, that was great to hit as a pure dog or pass. I just don't know that he wins, 30% of the time here to cash that or 35% of the time.
The market is starting to understand what Marjan is all about.
That's, I think, my take also here, which means there's just not much to attack here. Like, I mean, could Dimitrov pull off a few ridiculous shots and win this? Win this, sure, but will he? I don't know.
Right. Okay. I think that's a high over under too for a match that like we'll probably see some lopsided sets.
Yeah.
So I like the under there. Mute and Shevchenko. Mute is a 4.5 game favorite. Minus 250 on the money line, plus 200 for Shevchenko, over under 36.5. Talk about two like immature guys.
Well, what I was gonna call out here is the drop shot of Mute could very well be a problem for Shevchenko. Remember, Shevchenko's volleying. We saw him like lose matches in the hardcourt season because of his volleying.
Yeah,
that could be a problem here.
My 2 plays here are Mute minus 1.5 in set 1. And where is that line? Yeah. Ooh, it was minus 120. Now it's minus 135, but I still kind of like it. And then I'm on Mute minus 4.5 and minus 120. I don't think Shevchenko is also going to be able to handle the crowd and the pro Mute fans. Like, I think he's too immature to deal with all of that. Plus,
that's a good thought.
Plus Mute being better at tennis.
I may need to think about backing Mute here because of that. It's close. I probably won't, but I might end up backing Mute here. It's either Mute or pass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mute's better at tennis, and he
I
has
was really hoping Mute would be something closer to pick here, but alas, it's not.
nah, I we're gonna get that. Mute also, we got to point out, he's been decent in slams. He's made third round. He's made fourth round of slams before.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a good player in general. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fine.
Is it -4.5 would be GBM worthy for me?
I gotta think about it.
Okay.
Up until 9:30 in the morning.
Okay. Yeah. You got some time.
Yeah.
Next match is Pavel Kotov and Stan Wawrinka. This is probably my favorite play of the day. I'm all over Kotov -2 at -115. I love
Yeah, I
Kotov.
would agree with that also. Is there something on here for Kotov to win the match, lose the first set and win the match? That's where I would really want to get to. I doubt they'll
Yeah.
have it up.
Not yet.
But
No.
that's the play that I would love here because
Agreed.
I do think Wawa could be good for a set, but I'd be worried about him. I don't think he can out physical I don't think he can out physical
Kotov.
Kotov for a whole, for a whole match and wear him down. I think he wears down at some point if he tries to do that. I'm trying to look up and see how Wawrinka. Another interesting note: Wawrinka hasn't won. So this is a note I like for these older guys. Wawrinka has not won back-to-back matches yet this year.
Mhm. And I know he played the first round on Sunday, and it wasn't that physical against Murray, but still, something about coming back after a win is
Yeah. So
different.
I'll probably end up on Kotov minus the 2 games. I think that makes a lot of sense.
GBM?
Sure.
All right, let's do that.
I really wish I could find a book that had the Kotov to win from behind, or Kotov to win the first set and lose.
I mean, the Kotov -1.5 sets might be better at +110.
Oh, now, because
No?
I would love to have that fifth set in pocket because if it goes to a fifth, he should destroy Wawrinka.
Good point. Good point. All right. Two of the more stocky guys on tour, that's for sure.
Yep.
But Kotov's stockiness is like what 10 or 10 years younger, so we'll back that side of it.
Yep.
Gasquet Sinner. Gasquet's at 8.5 game dog plus 1,200 on the money line. Sinner's third -3,300, over under of 29.5. My play here is the under 29.5. I think I mean, you talked about how well Gasquet played, and I agree with you. From what I saw in that match, he did play really well. I just think there's some regression here, and Sinner is arguably the best player in the world. So it's totally different. I kind of like the love 1 and 2 at 22 to 1, but I feel like that crowd will give him some energy and force maybe one competitive set. But that's a thought here. I'm pretty sure you're on the same side, right?
I mean, what I'm trying to debate here is I've got nothing to argue what you're saying. The only thing I'm sitting here wondering is 8.5, is that too many games? Or is the under two, does the under give you enough wiggle room in case Center struggles for a little while? That's the debate for me. I gotta think through that, and I don't really. I mean, yeah, it's tough. I mean, yeah, it's tough. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do yet. Your logic makes sense, but I gotta check out some stats on Center.
How many times have these guys played before? They played in Halle, Center won in 3. They played in Indian Wells in 23. Center won 3 and 6. But I mean, Center's a different player since then, and
So is Gasquet. I mean, so
yeah,
let's be real about it. So is Gasquet. Yeah,
yeah. I don't mind the Sinner minus 2.5 sets at minus 250. Like I don't
Yeah, I don't know
play
how
those.
I don't know how Gasquet wins a set here either. I mean, it could get ugly really quickly.
Yeah.
Last four matches against guys ranked outside the top 100. Nobody got more than 6 games. If that's interesting. Like
Sinner.
he killed Mueller. And it's a different matchup, but Sinner killed Mueller here. Remember last year, like 1-4-1. Could easily have something like that.
Yeah.
Like
The Sinner
I
under
might
18
have to
and a half.
actually lay this. It's not my kind of bet, but I might actually have to lay all those games here. Just because like I don't really know what Gasquet. I'm not sure how Gasquet
What
really
about the
plays.
Sinner under 18 and a half at plus 120?
In some ways I actually prefer the 8.5, whatever, because I think if Sinner has pets, but I think if they fall behind, it could be a runaway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it could be an early, if it's on an hour court, it could be an early handshake. And well, I guess they can't do that on an hour court here, but
I mean,
like,
then just take the 9 at even money. No.
I don't know, I kind of like I said, I think my favorite here is the either laying the 8.5 or the 6-2 or better each set, like at a bigger price. Like I think it's a one-sided beatdown.
I agree. I agree. All
All right,
right.
I
So,
think we need a quick break.
wait. Recap of today's bet. So we got the Mueller. Wow, moved to plus 150.
All right, sweet.
Always
So we're on Mueller plus 150 and the over 3.5 sets. That's both of us. Manny, you want anything for Shelton Nishikori?
I am on the Shelton 3-1.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it there. I'm on Sissy Pass minus 7.5 against Altmaier.
Yeah.
Are you on anything there?
No. You and I are both on the 5 sets of Nakashima Hubie.
Yep.
I'm so tempted to back Nakashima in some fashion, man. The stats look so even on these guys.
I'm also on the no tiebreak at plus 225 in that match.
Yeah.
Sonigo Zhang. We're both on Zhang money line.
And the over 3.5 sets.
Yep. Yeah. Not GBM worthy, but
Okay.
I'm also on the no tiebreak in that match
Yep.
at plus 120. Quarter
I'm on Quan against Quarta. Plus
both staying
450
away,
money
right?
line.
Because of the
What?
injury concern. Oh, you're on Quan money line.
Yeah, I'm on Quan money line, so I don't have to worry about it because yeah.
I'm staying away because of the injury concern that I didn't know about. So I'm cashing
Yep.
out that bet. I'm on Chapo minus 1.5 sets here against Tiafo. You're staying away?
Nope. Stay away from me.
All right.
I'm on Offner Baez, basically over 3.5 sets. I think what I actually have is like an over on the games for one of the players.
Okay. We're on that's GBM at minus 130, right?
Yep, that's right. That's right. That's what we have, right? The over 3.5 sets at minus 130. That's what we have. Yeah.
Yep.
That's right.
Berg's Martyr, I think you're staying away. I'm on
Yep.
Berg's minus 1.5 sets and Martyr 3-2 as with the fatigue angle. So
Yep.
those are my plays there. You're on Squire.
I'm all over Squire. 7.5, laying 7.5 games and getting 8-1.
Okay. I'm taking the other side here. I'm going Felix under 90.
Yep.
So that's my play there. And then the young Alcaraz, we're staying away. Rublev Martinez, it's we're both taking the 3-1, but no, not GBM.
Yep. I'm staying away from Marjan Dimitrov.
I'm on under 37.5 and the margin money line.
I might back Mute. I'm highly disappointed in the line. I might still back Mute, but it's doubtful here.
Okay. I'm on the Mute minus 4.5 and the minus 1.5 in set 1.
Yep.
And Kotov minus 2 is another GBM play.
Yep. And I might be on Center Gaskin. I'm still kind of debating that out. I'll probably end up on Center there. I don't have any interest. I mean, I have no interest putting my mom in the picture, but yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but I'm on yeah. It's gonna be tough. Gascade Center's gonna be I'll have to make a call there. It's
Yeah, that's tough matchup. All right, quick break, and then we'll get into Friday's round 2 match. Thursdays. All right, welcome back to the show. Apologize if we seem a little bit tired or we snooze off a little bit. It is 2 a.m. here, so we're trying
it's pretty
to get
brutal
through these matches.
Yeah, and Manny and I both work full time, so it's a brutal slam.
It
We're ever
is.
trying to do a pod for every round like we did for, I think last year we did it.
We are, yeah.
See if we can advance to the tournament.
Yeah, we don't want to lose like like the players. We want to get to the final doing the
Yeah.
pods. So let's see.
Well, it's gonna be quick because a lot of lines, and we might have to check if check like some other books or something, see if anybody else has lines up because a lot of these are
Yeah.
super fresh.
All right. So the first match is Davidovich Fokina against Casper Ruud. Fokina is a plus 425 dog. Ruud is minus 600. Um, on first glance here, I kind of like the Ruud straight sets at even money. Like, I just feel like whenever it gets tight later in the set, like Foki is gonna find a way to choke it.
Yeah, it feels like that way, doesn't it? I mean,
Like, when is the last time he's won a set versus like a top 10 player? Was it like last year in Madrid against Brune?
I'm looking something up real quick. Versus top, does beating Hubie at the United Cup count or Shelton at the Paris Masters? Took a
Okay.
set from Zverev in Beijing last year, so it's only the last three matches. It's tough because like Foki's just such a hard guy to read.
Yeah. Has he done it like this year?
Well, he's only played three this year. He lost to Medvedev. You remember the one in Miami to Ruud where he choked against Ruud and then he choked against
Yeah.
Rublev. So yeah, I mean the choke is always in play with Fokina. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This is a this is a tough one because Fokina's so talented. I hate betting him to go lose 3-0 because he like if he
Yeah.
just plays one good set, which he can do, like he's more than capable of winning a set, but will he? I don't know.
Because from a talent perspective, like, I mean, I would take Fokina on the money line. It's just that the mental part of it is
Right. And
terrible.
and
Yeah.
like yeah.
Yeah, it's really tough. And like he's gonna compete, so I actually rather lay the sets than the games here. Ironically enough, like very rarely do I like to do that, but in this instance, I would prefer to take lay the sets. Do you agree with that take?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, oh, he's just a hard guy to bet. Like that's all I can really say about it. It's just it. I mean, like
Mhm.
I guess like he's in a matchup like this, like he's a hard guy to bet. He's a hard guy to bet when he's a dog.
Yeah,
Because like, yeah, all he's do is play decent for like a short period of time. Like, if he wanted to back Foki, the first set money line seems like a good idea. If he wanted to back Foki,
I agree.
because it kind of eliminates a little bit of the choke.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Um, I think it's actually a decent live betting match because like if the set gets to like 5-all, for example, like just bet rude. You know, I know you're gonna have to lay or you're gonna have to take some juice there. But like if the set gets close, I can't see Foki winning it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think like, yeah, it's also one. Yeah, I mean, it's that, or like if you wanted to back Foki on the money line, if you were absolutely determined to, taking him like minus a set and a half might not be a bad idea. Because like, if he gets to the fifth, it just seems like it's gonna be a nightmare for him mentally.
True.
Like, I don't know, but yeah, I mean, but outside of that, like, Root should win this match. Obviously, he is a better player than Foki.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's a good call out. If you want to bet Foki on the money line, I think that that's the best way to do it.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, we obviously have to see all the other lines. We'll post the picks on X, once the other lines come up. De Minaur against Munar. De Minaur is a -400 favorite. Munar is a +300 dog. I feel like I feel like if Tsitsipas played both of these guys on the same court, like he'd still win.
That's probably true. But unfortunately, they're not. This is not how tennis works. I mean, first glance, I'm tempted to get with Jaime Munar, but I need to look a little more about like what Munar has done against like top guys. Like, has Munar ever beaten a top like 20-ish player?
He's gotten
Actually,
close.
Munar, I'm sure he has. That's just a dumb comment. But like,
Yeah.
oh, he beat Tiafoe, and Tiafoe's a top 30 player.
Yeah, I know he
Munar versus the top 50 in the past 4 years on clay, 9-23.
9-23.
Yeah. Oh my bad. He didn't beat Tiafoe. What am I talking about? It was 6-4. Tiafoe won that in straights. But yeah, 9-23. But he's beaten Cerundolo. Munar has this year. That's not
Didn't
really a very
he
good
come
match.
really close to beating Rude in one of the July clay court tournaments?
So he lost to him at Gastad 6-6.
I remember that was a really high quality match.
Yeah, I mean he's played good matches in his career. Doesn't have a whole lot of great wins though to show for it. But like, but it's Demon on clay. Like, Munar might be the play here. I feel like what is the Munar like plus a set and a half?
+150.
That could be a look. Because I don't necessarily think that Munar has like a fitness edge if this goes to the fifth.
Yeah. I mean, these guys played in Madrid in 21 and it went 3 sets.
Yeah, Demon wasn't the same player back then.
On clay, though?
Yeah, I think he's just a better player in general, right? Like,
Yeah.
I agree with you. He still is a significantly worse player on clay than on other surfaces, but
And I think Munar is about the same.
yeah, I don't think Munar's changed about 5 years.
Yeah.
Like ever since he came up, he's just the same dude. It's kind of
Yeah.
funny because like
No.
everybody thought he'd get better because he was young and he just and it's not even like laziness or anything with him. He just peaked early. Like he just peaked
Yeah.
and like that was it. Like he just didn't
He's
have
just so limited.
he's just
It's
so
what he can
limited.
do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of like the over 3.5 sets at -130. Like both these guys are going to battle. They both don't have fitness issues. So like even if they play a long first set or a long second set, it's not going to like deter them from continuing to compete. So I always like backing over 3.5 sets in those kind of matchups. But that's really all I like here. I don't really want to pick a side.
Yeah. I hear you. I
You
hear
know,
you.
I'm curious to see what with this kind of price, like what the over under on games is going to be.
Like the
Like
game spread. Yeah. Because I feel like
if it's 33 or 34, I might play the over.
yeah, I think you'll get that. I mean, I think it'll be actually no. I gotta think like a line like this has to indicate that it's probably like a 5.5 to 6 games. So it's probably close to that actually. It's probably like a 34 over under. Like very much, it'll probably be one of those games where the book is just going to ask you, can Munar win a set? In which case, I would say, yeah, I think he can win a set. If he gets 3 cracks against Munar, I think he can win a set.
Yeah,
Zverev's going to, I mean, Zverev's going to hammer Goffin. I don't know what else we need to say about that.
100%.
Like, I need to see other lines for this. I'm maybe going to look at betting it because Zverev's going to crush Goffin.
100%.
Like, what would Goffin even do in theory? I guess he can like try to guide the ball to Zverev's forehand and like force some forehands errors, but Garrett Zverev's playing too well.
It's like a grown man playing a boy. Like this is what that match.
Yeah, I mean this is one where you look at laying like 7.5 to 8 games, or you look at what like
Agreed.
maybe like the under 18 could be a play here, under 18 and a half.
Yeah, I agree. But what about this Zverev narrative about like making matches more complicated than they should be? Like, do you think that's like
I
puts
gotta
a
think about it for this particular match. I just feel like Goffin, like what is Goffin gonna do to annoy? Like Goffin doesn't do anything to particularly annoy him either. Like Zverev gets annoyed about like you know like Thompson beat him because he kept the ball low, or like I don't know, different guys do different things to like create problems for him. I feel like Goffin is too much of like just a straight ball hitter.
maybe now? I mean, they've had tough matches in the past.
Well, I think old golf, like younger golf fan could do different things, right? Like, but yeah, I think now, like, what is he
Yeah.
gonna do?
They played tough three setter in Rome last year in the second round, 5-7, 6-3, 6-4. They played in Monte Carlo that Goffin won in 21, 6-4, 7-6. And they played in Rome in 2018 that Zverev won in 3 sets. So like their head to head is really close. 4 of their 5 meetings have gone 3 sets. But yeah, I mean you're right. It's a different Goffin, and like would you say this is the best Zverev has played in his career?
I don't know. What was the Masters? Didn't he win a Masters late in the year in like 18 or 19 or a World Tour Finals? He was pretty darn good then too.
Yeah, that's true. I think he beat like Federer and Djokovic back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good in that like Olympic year in 21, and then came to the US Open and played Djokovic to 5 sets in the semi.
Yeah. So I
Oh,
mean he's had runs like this before, but he's playing really well right now.
he is. All right, next match. Fonini and Tommy
Oh,
Paul.
here's one we can actually look at. There's a real line on it.
Yeah. Yep. Fonini is a 6.5 game dog. Plus 400 on the money line, over under 34.5. Paul's
What's
minus
we need to
5,
win a set?
minus 135.
I got to think about this one, and the key here is I got to look at like how Fognini does in second and third rounds of like tournaments after he's won a match, because that tends to be a problem for these older guys. But he did have a pretty quick first rounder against BDZ. I might take Fognini to win a set, or maybe even Fognini set one. I feel like it's like I don't know. I feel like there's gonna be a crowd behind Fognini. He'll be energized. Like this is the I mean like he loves these moments.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like Paul, I don't know, man. I think Paul can be liable to have like just a lazy set or a bad set or whatever.
Yeah.
I like, or you know what else could look really good here? I think is the 3-1 Paul. Like that's gonna be what that standard plus 230,
240.
240. I think that could be a good look.
Mm-hmm.
Like Fognini's got enough talent. He's still, I mean, Fognini can still play, especially on clay. Like he still is pretty tough, but I just feel like, especially this match, I feel like Paul's got to be able to wear him down, right? Like, because Paul's just going to make a lot of
100%.
balls, make him run, like, use his athleticism.
Yep.
But Fognini might have a set in him.
I tend to agree. I'm just worried about him physically.
Well, that's why I got to see how he's done in his second matches of tournaments, right? Because that's what would tell you is like, because otherwise you're really hoping that Fognini wins one of the first 2 sets, so the physically probably isn't as much of an issue.
So then just back to Fonini set one money line then at plus 230.
Well, you're hoping he wins one of the first 2, right? I'm saying like I think like I don't think he's gonna. But see, the thing is like Paul with Paul's tendency to fall asleep. I don't know. Could be any of them.
Right.
Like it's I don't know that it's necessarily 3 true shots, but like the second and third shot aren't completely dead in the water because I think that Paul could toss him a set just because he gets like bored.
Yeah, that is true. Because Fonini winning a set has just as much to do with Fonini physically as it does with Paul mentally.
Exactly. I mean, look, Fognini did win 4 matches in a row in Marrakesh, and that was last month. So I think that like. I know
Okay.
they weren't all main draw, but that's almost more impressive. That means he won like 4 matches in what, 4 or 5 days?
Yeah.
4 matches in 5 days. So I think, given that the first round, like if he had to go 5 hours, he's done.
Right.
And like I'm not saying here that I think he can win the quarter or anything, but can he win a set from Tommy Paul? I think so. I think this line is a little over baking that in.
You also had a really good run in the Valencia Challenger last year at the end of the year in clay, where he
He
won.
had a good run on Mets on indoor hard court, which is
Yeah.
weird. Like, I mean, Fognini's always been a good clay player. Like, I'm not saying I think he wins the match. I think Paul wins it, but I think that
Yeah.
Fognini could be competitive here.
The 3-1 is very enticing, I have to say.
Yeah,
I think that's good.
that's probably going to end up being where I go.
Yeah.
And I might do a little bit on the set one money line. I do think that his best chance is the first set.
Yeah. Next match, Caboli against Rune. This is a very interesting match. Caboli is plus 240. Rune is minus 300.
I mean, again, the 3-1 could be in play here.
I don't think so. I'm gonna back Caboli in some capacity here. I really don't like what I'm seeing from Rune. I like the plus 1.5 sets for Caboli and plus 120.
I don't know. Like at some point, I hear you, but at some point, Rune's just better than these guys. I mean, I get it. I get it though. Yeah, it's tough. I don't know.
Hey, trust me, I'm kind of rooting for Rune. I have him on my team.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
So,
Should we have any? Oh, your team, Nico lost.
I know.
How we got to do a team update at the end of this. See how our teams are doing.
We do. But yeah, Nico lost, Tabilo lost, Darderi, well, the Darderi won. Hamad lost. Looks like you're sitting pretty good right now.
Did I lose anybody? I don't think I
No,
did.
you did not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
On to the next round.
all right. I don't know. I want to back Caboli in some capacity. I haven't decided yet. He's a little bit shorter than I would have hoped. Like I was.
That's what I'm thinking. Like I completely agree with you, but he looks pretty short here. Like I don't know if there's hype from beating Hamad or if this is just like the market not respecting Rune either and realizing that he hasn't been that great. But yeah, I was hoping he'd be longer too. That's why I'm thinking maybe the 3-1 now. Because like that 3-1 tends to sit at like something between 200 and 300 almost no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe 5 sets is an interesting play here at plus 265.
Could do that too. Could do that too. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. The market must be adjusting. They must also see like Caboli's had good results, like taking Rude to 7-6 in the third in Geneva, kind of.
Yeah, no, I mean
Yeah.
Caboli. I mean Caboli's his ranking is I think is close to the top 50 if he's not inside.
Yeah.
Actually, after Geneva, he might be inside.
Who do you view higher, Caboli or Navoni on clay?
Caboli or who?
Navoni.
Caboli is higher upside. Navoni's a better player right now.
Okay. I tend to agree. All right, next match here is Cerundolo and Misalik. I have a play here. Cerundolo is a minus 7.5 game favorite. Minus 800 on the money line. Misalik is plus 525, over under 32.5. I'm laying the games here with Dolo. I saw some of that match with Misalik against Burton. Like he's not good. Like he's clearly a challenger level player.
Isn't he known for being like almost kind of like a pusher?
Yeah, a pusher who misses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed. He's 243 in the world.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not super high on Dolo. I just think
They've
like,
actually played. They played in Vienna back in 2022 of October, and Cerundolo beat them 3-3.
yeah, and that's on a hard court, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, Missilik's best surface is probably clay too, but like,
It is. Yeah, it is. Um, Yeah, I'll probably be a pass here just because it's another one of those huge spreads and like, but I get it. I understand why it's
Mhm.
really like Dolo's head can sometimes get away. Dolo's head can get away from him sometimes too,
It
and
can.
that could happen for a set here.
But he seemed really like motivated, like more motivated and amped up than I've seen him in a while against Hoffman.
Yeah,
And
I mean that would make sense.
and he covered a 7.5 game spread against Hoffman. So
Yeah, I mean some of the stuff he's kind of said and indicated, um, has kind of indicated that he might be able to turn this around. Like,
mhm. Yeah, it's good. I just think it's a mismatch from a tennis perspective.
it probably is. It's 7.5 games, just a lot of games.
It is.
Oh boy, Monfils and Musetti. Oh
Oh
boy.
boy. Oh boy. Here we go.
Yeah.
Monfils is a 3.5 game dog, minus.
Monfils could be a 3.5 game dog against anyone, it feels like. I feel like he could play like center and they probably put him in a 3.5 game dog. Like, he's just like because it doesn't like he's so much better than like his then that's no for exaggeration. I know, I'm kidding. But
Yeah, no, I see what you mean though. It's funny.
he's just like because it all depends on like which Monfils is gonna show.
And he also shows up at parts of the match and then just completely checks out for like 3 games and then he gets it back. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
a
So I don't know
really,
how you could ever take Monfils games here.
yeah, you
Um, but
plus
like
155.
I don't know. This one's hard to judge. Like, I think I want to back Monfils here, like plus a set and a half or something could be the play. But oh, it's so tough to judge. Like Monfils is the worst with this stuff. Like you just don't know. We just talked about it, right? You just don't know like what the upper level is. But I feel like maybe I might go with Monfils, like either plus a set and a half or money line.
I mean, if he's plus 155 on the money line, you're not going to get a good price. Oh, minus 125.
That's not terrible.
Yeah. I mean, who do you trust more physically in this matchup? Neither.
Um, it's not so much like physically, I wouldn't trust Monfils because of all the injuries he's had. You know what I mean? Like, is he going to hurt himself?
Yeah, I kind of like the Monfils set one money line and plus 125. I prefer backing him there, and the fact that it's only 30 cents difference, I prefer. I think that crowd is going to be amped up for it. I think like
Yeah,
Musetti
I
will be like,
don't.
what the hell is going
I like either the
on?
Monfils first set money line or I like the backing him plus 1.5 sets. But I kind of like shortening the finish line, which both those do.
Yeah, but like I don't want to back Musetti either. You know, like
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, Mosetti's not been great. I'll probably back. I think I'm gonna back Monfils plus the set and a half. Like, I don't really want to get it in physically with Monfils, but I do think that in terms of like play tennis skills, he's on par. He's on par with what Mosetti's doing this year. Like, obviously, it looks terrible for Monfils because he's had so many just awful matches.
mhm.
But if he's playing like at his B level,
Apparently Monfils was sick or something. That's why he did like barely play the clay court season and played terribly. And he finally
okay, good to
got over it.
know.
So and I think like they gave him like stronger flu medicine, so he was ready for this tournament or something.
Okay, interesting.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Manny tracking the prescriptions on the ATP tour for his 1 day future job.
I'd rather do that than at the store.
Yeah, I'm sure he would.
I'd rather do it for these players. All right, next match is Struff and Bublik. Struff is minus 275. Bublik is plus 220. God.
This is tough because, like, so Bublik. I'm gonna look up Bublik's record on clay that this year. I don't actually think it's that bad.
Bublik is just so good at tennis. Like,
Right, but the question is like, it's just the question is gonna be motivation here. So 24 on clay, he's 4-4. He went 4-4 during the European clay swing this year. Lost to Koric, Borges, Medvedev, and Pericard, and beat Kotov, Bukic, Shelton, and Baena. I don't know, man. Struff is a tough customer. I think Struff's gonna win this match, but so does the books.
Struve feels a bit short here.
Yeah, I mean, it could be the minus 150 on the minus a set and a half for Struff could be an interesting look. But it's so hard to ever call Bublik matches.
I don't necessarily think this is a good matchup for Struve, though, because, like, Bublik, first of all, you know, he has a good serve. And Struve is not the best returner. And all that craftiness, all those drop shots, the change in pace, the lack of
Yeah, that's a great
like,
problem for Struve. He's not the most mobile guy, and he doesn't have like he
Yeah.
kind of has this. He kind of likes to hit the ball big, and it might be hard for him to do that. But look, I hear you.
So at this price, like yes, I do think Struve is going to win, but like at this price, I don't like
Look,
it.
might be worth a shot. Yeah, I hear you. I
And
gotta think more about it to be honest, but I get it. It's a good take. I'll definitely take it into account.
I want to see the line movement here. I'm curious to see what other people are going to do, and then make my decision that way.
Okay.
So I'm going to wait, but this is a very tough match to cap.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that.
Really tough. All right, Kachanov.
Kachanov against Joseph Kovalik. I mean,
No. 7.5 game favorite, over under 31.5.
I don't think I'm going to be on this again. It's just it's another one of these big spreads that I generally don't like attacking unless I feel really good about the guy actually accomplishing something, but I don't really have that much of an opinion here. So
Yeah, and the Kachanov 3-0 is juiced pretty heavily.
yeah.
Kovalik is another one that, like, he finds ways to choke.
Yeah, you almost did against your own.
I know. And he did in qualifying. It was an epic choke in qualifying as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll probably lay off too. What's Kachanov minus 1.5 games in the maybe Kachanov minus 2
Minus 225 or something.
in the first set.
Yeah.
One thing that's been disappointing, I haven't seen many book errors from Bovada this year.
Yeah, they've gotten better, huh? Thought rooting against Greeks poor.
Ooh.
Oh man.
See, if this was best of 3, I'd be all over Darderi.
It's also if Darderi hadn't played quite a bit of tennis recently, and like I don't know, it just didn't. It doesn't really seem like a tournament for either of these guys, though, to be honest.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna still be on Darderi at even money, but you saw more of that Rinky Darderi match. Like, how did Darderi look? Like we talked about, you know, Rinky not having a chance to win, but Kenny covered.
No, I mean, he played pretty good. Darderi did, to be honest, better than I thought he would.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't hate the. It's a tough call, but I think I'm probably slightly on Darderi.
Mhm.
I think he's a better player on slow clay than Talon is. So I think based on that, I'd go yeah.
Darderi money line.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what the stats would say, but like I'm sure Darderi has a way better break percentage than Griekspoor does.
Oh, I'm sure he does. Yeah.
So
I mean, I think fatigue is baked into that line.
probably right.
Yeah.
All right, Navoni and
I love Navone here as a dog.
Me too.
That to me is like one of the more straightforward matches from the board. I know, I get it. Like he has not looked as good in this what the past like week and a half, 2 weeks, but like
He hasn't. That's what's giving me cause to pause.
yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I don't think it's an insane thing to say that.
Like Mahak has been better the last 2 to 3 weeks, and Navoni has been worse. So how much are they factoring that in this price?
It's got to be very factored in because I mean, otherwise I don't see what Makac has done. I don't really know what Makac has done to make himself this big of a favor against Navone compared to what Navone's done.
I mean, Navone found a way to lose a set to Carreno Busta today. I mean, then
Well, although to be fair, I had heard that Carreno Busta like look, and then who knows, but I'd heard that Carreno Busta looked good. I didn't see any of it, but I heard Carreno Busta looked good. And it's possible, right? Like Nishiko, I think like some of these guys have had decent success their first match back. It's not completely unheard of.
Mhm. And then Navoni, I mean, he lost to Nakashima in Turin, lost to Darderi in Rome. But in Cagliari, he beat, yeah, Mochizuki, Naba, Darderi, and Nuzetti to win the title. Yeah,
Like, I
I
think
think
Navone's a
it's,
better player. It's just a matter of like, especially on a slower clay court, it's just a matter of gas tank for Navone. But I'll probably end up taking Navone money line.
yeah, it's Navoni or pass for me, but I don't know. I'm a see the thing is I'm also pretty high on Machak. Like I'm high on both of these guys.
Yeah, I'm not as high. I'm high on Makac in general, but not on clay.
Okay. I'll have to think about it more, but yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting match though. Like to
very
watch.
interesting match for a second rounder. Pretty interesting.
Great, yeah. Kecmanovic and Medvedev. Kecmanovic is a 6-game dog plus 300 on the money line. Medvedev minus 400 over under 35 and a half. I kind of like Medvedev in this matchup. I don't. This is not a good matchup for Kecmanovic.
It shouldn't be, but I could see Kecmanovic winning a set. I think it kind of depends on Medvedev's mood and his attitude. And like Kecmanovic has played great matches before, right? He beat Rude,
Yeah, but they
ago. He
played
beat
three times before, and Kecmanovic hasn't won a set. They played at Roland Garros in 22, and arguably Medvedev is better on clay than he was at that point, and
yeah,
Medvedev beat him down 2-4 and 2.
yeah. I hear you. I hear you. I mean, Kecmanovic can be terrible, right? But he also is capable of like. So I hear you. Really, like this is tough because it also depends on Medvedev's like Medvedev's similar to Paul. Like Medvedev could fall asleep too. It's not really falling asleep. Medvedev he more gets like angry and tanks a set, but he could do that. Like
Yeah, but I think Kecmanovic is a type of guy that just doesn't do anything to hurt Medvedev. Like,
oh, I disagree with that. If he's doing his thing where he's aiming for the lines and like he could go out there and hit a bunch of winners. Depends what his game plan is. He's again Kecmanovic's just a hard guy to bet.
I'm gonna lay the 6. I think it should be more like 7 in my eyes.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably take Kecmanovic to win a set or
Okay.
Kecmanovic to win a set. And they'll yeah.
I hate that's minus 175. That's not really good.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. It's not really very good. I wouldn't like that. The over 3.5 sets would be a little better at minus 135.
Yeah. I'm gonna lay the sec. I'm pro Medvedev in that matchup. Oh, Djokovic and Carballes Baena. I mean,
I mean, this will be a beatdown. It's just a bad stop matchup for Baena.
agreed. Probably pass on like all these lines. It's just gonna be such a big spread. Fritz and
Brendan Dushan.
interesting match. Doesn't Dusan look a bit long here? Plus 425. I know he's bad in slams. Like,
I just don't know if he can actually like put up with Fritz's massive ball striking for 5 sets,
yeah. Have these guys played? And I think Lajovic, like, that was his first slam win in like the last 10 tries.
I mean, I don't even know if he can back it up. Like what like can he physically come back and play decent back to back back-to-back matches slams. It feels like a stay away, to be honest. Because I hear you, like it's not like if Dusan is like playing decent tennis, I think that one-handed backhand actually could trouble Fritz on clay.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's not like a Coria or a Baez where I want to back Fritz, you know? So yeah, that's my take there.
Yeah. Fritz, I think it was a match. We didn't go together. It was in Cincinnati. Round of 16 where I don't think Fritz lost a point. It was 5-1
Wow.
retirement. And then in 2018, Liveik beat him in Lyon. It's 5-1. But if you want to back Liveik, you have to do it in the set one money line. That's the only way. In my
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, if Liveik falls behind, he's gonna be in trouble. If Fritz gets in rhythm, Liveik's gonna be in trouble.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I would much rather take the set one money line than the plus 2.5 sets, for example.
Yeah.
All right, couple more matches.
I think three more. No, two more.
Or Kokkinakis and Zeppieri.
Oh man, I feel like Kokkinakis at the minus 155 is a great look there. Especially because I can't imagine. I don't know, but I can't imagine that him and Poppy played a ton of long rallies.
I saw a little bit of the fifth set, but not too much of it. Mm. Yeah, the
I will probably be on. The more I look this, a lot more I'll probably be on
Kokkinakis.
Kokkinakis. Yeah, I agree with you. I think his best surface is slow clay. Actually,
Yeah,
his best surface is when he's at home with crowd and fans. But then I think his second best is if he's not going to be at home. I think the clay is good for him. It gives him more. To your point, it gives him more time to hit.
I think Kokkinakis should be fine physically. I mean, that match was 4.5 hours.
I'm not worried about that at all. But... No, that's not concerning me at all. Honestly, I have very little concern with Kokkinakis the more I look at this. Like,
okay.
the only concern is he's like an idiot and somehow somehow he doesn't make it to the event. But like,
that is a realistic possibility.
It is, unfortunately.
I mean, Zeppieri, he lost in Turin to Fonini.
Yeah.
He lost in qualies to Husler, which is not good.
Oh no, I mean he can lose a lot. I mean he had lost like 7 out of 9, and that's on the Challenger Tour coming in. Maybe 7 out of 9 between Challenger and ATP events. So yeah, he's not the best.
Kolar, Hassan.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, these are not good wins. I'm on Kokkinakis too. I'll probably lay the games. I hope this line. I'd rather lay the game. Like
yeah, I agree.
Game and a half or 2-game spread.
I agree.
Yeah. And then Echeverry and Rinderknecht. I'm all over Etch here.
Yeah, but it's nice to have plus 220. I feel like this is probably gonna end up being like
5.
I mean, it could no, yeah, probably. I think this is probably going to be close right there. I probably won't bet it. But I'll have to see what happens. See if it either, see what happens with the mat, see what happens over the next day or so, see how things develop, and maybe I'll hit something there. But my initial thought is
I think the Etch 3-1 is actually a good look at plus 275.
Yeah, it's a good look, I think.
Yeah. So. All right, so that does it. So
sorry guys. Unfortunately, as you know, it's really sucks. Like, there's just not a lot of lines out.
I know.
And I was even looking at some other books, and a lot of books don't have the lines out. Like it's not just Bovada.
Yeah, it sucks. I feel like they're getting later and later in terms of releasing these lines.
I know, which sucks because the content, it's fine as a better because we'll have a whole night tomorrow night, but it just sucks as a content creator.
It is terrible. All right, but we'll obviously keep you guys posted on X, and you can join us on the Discord. A lot of
Yeah.
exciting stuff coming up. So
Yeah. If you like what you hear, see, subscribe, comments, likes. So
yeah,
far, Tippets Tennis has been the only guy who's commented on a YouTube video in like a month. So we got to get that fixed. Yeah.
absolutely. As far as our teams for the French Open, so I think you've got to be ahead here because I got 3 guys out already. Yari, Tabilo, and Hamad are out. But I like my Zverev pick. Like
Yeah, Zverev's looking good. Zverev looks fantastic.
we're going our ranking points, right? So
Yeah, so 2,000 is a win. So like, yeah. I mean, if you win, if you get a win, you'll probably win the challenge.
yeah, right. All right, so that does it, and hopefully we're back for round 3. Best of luck.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Take care.